This is Brian Bertelson with the JCTV. I'm here today with Bob Orsey, Director of Geneseo Park District. Thanks, Bob, for being with us today.
Well, thanks for asking me, Brian.
We're here to talk about the Geneseo Park District pool renovation project. Bob, first of all, if you could just tell us a little bit about why you feel Geneseo needs an indoor pool.
Well, the indoor pool project is something's been around for the last 20 years, discussing why we need one. Basically, it is the fitness industry has recognized swimming as one of the main exercise that people want nowadays. It helps in both rehabilitation, therapeutic, arthritis, as well as we get older, our bones and joints and what have you are getting older, and it doesn't take the wear and tear. You're buoyant in the water, and it provides those types of conveniences and for the people. The other thing is because you can offer things year-round, like right now, swimming is the #1 recreational activity in America. When you live in a climate such as Geneseo, and we just had 6 inches of snow outside here, that you can't, of course, go swimming unless it's in the summer. And so this allows swimming lessons and all kinds of other things that take place over the year's time.
And the big question, how much do you propose that this will cost?
Well, at the present time, we're estimating the total cost of the project at $1.625 million. Now, that sounds like a lot of money for what we're proposing. The problem is that pools are construction industry are a little bit more fearful of what they're getting into if they're not used to building pools. So that is our estimate at this time from the architect. However, we have options of scaling it back and getting it down to where we could still have a nice facility, but it costs less money. We just feel this is what we really would like to have, and the money will dictate what we have.
I'm sure you've probably been asked this before, but why not cover the outdoor existing pool?
Well, there's 2 reasons why we're not going to cover the outdoor pool. First of all, pool is rated for 875 swimmers. The indoor pool would be only rated for 250, so as you can see, it's over 3 times as large. And so 3 times as large, it costs you almost 3 times as much to heat it and to provide electricity and things of this sort, because it would have a diving facility in it. The outdoor pool would have a diving facility. You would have to raise the roofs, and so you got a lot more construction costs, and people don't realize those factors involved with such of covering the outdoor pool.
You mentioned funding will dictate the size of the new facility. How are you going about gaining funding for this?
Well, there's 3 ways in which we're raising the funds for the project. One is our general fundraising efforts, of which we're right now at $350,000. Our goal is to raise $750,000, and by reaching that goal, the Geneseo Foundation will match $1 for every 2, and so they would then give us $375,000. And then the third option then is our general obligation bonds, which is a tax levy, and we would generate around $500,000. So that totals up to $1.625 million. Like I said, if we do not reach the $750,000 goal, we feel comfortable if we reach the $500,000 goal. That would provide $1.25 million for us, and we feel that the project could proceed, and we would have some type of an indoor pool facility. It would not be maybe as large or as nice as what we would like to have it, but it would still be a nice facility for the community.
And I'm assuming you're accepting donations, and if someone would like to support your project, how could they?
Oh yes, we accept donations quite willingly. They can do it 1 of 2 ways. They can either drop it off here at the community center, or they can mail it to the community center at Post Office Box 267. It should be made out to the Geneseo Community Park District because that's the legal body, it's the taxing body, and it also is the one that the IRS recognizes as being tax exempt. So it is a tax exempt donation. You can do it over a 4-year period. So like if you're interested in maybe donating $1,000 instead of giving $1,000 out of your pocket, all you have to do is give $250 for 4 years, and you've got it made. So we will work with you any way you want to as far as giving a donation. And like I said, any donation is appreciated, from $10 up to $10,000.
How big will the new pool be? You mentioned it a little bit earlier.
Right. The new pool, as far as its dimension pool, the decking will be about 10 to 15 feet around the outside, and then we'll have other support facilities with it.
And my next question. If that funding is available, what additional facilities do you hope to build along with the pool?
Well, along with the pool, we hope we could build a multi-purpose room addition, which would house weight room facilities such as free weights and all this equipment and things. Right now, we're real cramped in our fitness room for that. You get 15, 20 people and you're crowded. We would provide this room that would be for weightlifting, and then we also would have it for aerobics and dance classes and things of this sort. So that is, so-called phase 2, but if money comes in, we would do that.
Do you have a proposed cost of a per visit cost for using the pool?
For using the pool? Yes, it would, right now we would probably look at the same fee structure as the Rock Island Life Fitness Center, which is owned by the Rock Island Parks and Recreation Department. And membership there is for an adult, it's $180 for a year. Family is around $300. So those costs would be pretty similar to what we would be doing here. General admission would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from $2.50 to $3, I would say, right off the top of my head.
And when do you propose that it may be open, or at the earliest date?
Well, if everything goes according to plan, we hope to have bids taken by July. We hope to award the contract sometime in September, and then with construction starting right after the award in September. Construction will take approximately 15 months, so opening is planned for December 1st of 1995.
Okay, and that obviously will be right in time to take advantage when it's very cold outside. Will you be open year-round?
Yes, we would be a year-round pool. That's discussion. Would you close the pool in the summer, or would you, close the indoor pool in the summer, or whatever would you do? No, the indoor pool would be used year-round, and the reason being is, like the last 2 summers, it's been real cold or rainy, and we would very much like to move indoors when it's cool or rainy and handle all these swimming lessons people that we have right now. A lot of the seniors need a warmer pool. This pool we kept at 85 degrees, and certain people enjoy a warmer water versus some like a cooler water. When you swim competitively, the competitive pool is kept at 76 degrees, so you have a variance of between 76 and 85. And so there's all kinds of things that can be done, in the summer with this indoor pool, and you have to have that versatility when you have inclement weather and things of this sort. It just makes it more effective, and like I said, these last 2 summers prove that.
Do you already have plans to cooperate with, say, for instance, the school or any other local groups for use? Would
Yes,
the school be able to use this for a possible swim team? Or?
Yes, they will. We've already had some minor contacts and discussions with the school system. The big thing is, of course, always money, how the school finances are at the time. Yes, time will be made available to the school for both physical education classes and swim team or whatever they wish to do. We ourselves would probably have a competitive swim club, and so we would probably be swimming competitively anyway. It would just be up to the school whether they would then, see fit to put it into their athletic budget to have a competitive swim team. But yes, they would be invited to use and partake in the time that's available for physical education classes and things of this sort. However, the main project is for the community, and so the prime times and everything will be made available to the community, and those times that are not as available will be offered to the school system.
Well, thanks, Bob. I've been talking with Bob Orsi, the director of the Geneseo Park District, about the proposed renovation or addition of a indoor pool. And Bob, if you could one more time just give us that directions for sending contributions to your project.
Okay, you can send contributions to the Geneseo Park District at Post Office Box 267.
A DARE graduation was held at Southwest Elementary on February 15th at 7 p.m. DARE, or Drug Abuse Resistance Education, is a prevention program involving 5th grade students in our district.
Good evening. My name is Mike Greziak of the Geneseo Police Department, and on behalf of Southwest School, the City of
The DARE
Geneseo.
officer, Mike Griesiak, taught children during a period of several weeks information about drugs, what they look like, different ways to say no, identifying types of peer pressure and how to handle it, consequences of drug usage, positive stress management, alternative activities to get involved with instead of drugs, and they even took a trip to the Henry County Jail.
Each class of fifth graders at South
Jennifer Van Meenen, Justin Watson,
The high school role models are a very valuable asset to the program. The high school students attend a couple of classes and talk about their drug-free life at the high school and how they battle real peer pressure. The graduation includes the reading of essays entitled Taking a Stand. All students are required to write an essay, and a graduate from each of the 3 fifth-grade classrooms shared their reasons to stay drug-free. The essays illustrated ways to take a stand against drug usage, utilizing information, strategies, and skills learned during their DARE classes.
In our DARE class, I learned a lot of things like 8 ways to say no. We also learned how to build.
The best essay was selected and also read to the audience. The graduate with the winning essay received a jacket sponsored by DARE and MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
I'm not a drug fool, so don't take drugs. I learned several different ways to say no to drugs. Here are 3 of them. The first one is to give a reason or excuse, like, oh, I just remembered I still have to do my homework. Another way is to change the subject. The third way is to avoid the situation or just walk away. Another lesson I learned was how to deal stress. One suggestion my DARE teacher gave was simply to go someplace quiet. Another way was to do something that you enjoy. My personal favorite is to talk to someone that you trust. The final lesson he taught us was how to build your self-esteem. A way to build self-esteem is to join a sports team. Another way to build your self-esteem is to study and get good grades so that you can feel good about yourself. The third and final way to build your self-esteem is to be helpful. I think if you're helpful, then when you grow up, you will know how to do stuff and you can do something with your life. My advice to you is to set goals and try your hardest to reach them. I really enjoyed DARE and I hope that you do too. When you get older, you'll be asked to smoke or take drugs. You have the choice to be drug-free, and I hope that you choose to be drug-free.
Probably we'll start off and talk to the DARE graduates a little bit from a...
Guest speaker for the evening was Denny Derricks, teacher and varsity football coach at the high school. He stressed that drugs and sports don't mix successfully, and above all, drugs and leading a productive, healthy life definitely do not mix. Goal setting and the value of achieving those goals and dreams were among other topics presented.
Sooner or later, somehow, some way, you're going to have to pay a price. And sometimes that price can be very severe for getting tied up into drugs. Like Officer Griesiak said, football is a team sport. And it's the best teams win in football. It's not the best individuals. And we pride ourselves at Geneseo High School over the years that many times, our football team doesn't have as good individuals as what some of the other teams might have. There are some teams that we play against where they have had, as some of the fathers can remember out here, guys like Phil Bradley that play at Macomb, great individual, went on professional baseball. A guy like Ed Brady at Morris High School, who Geneseo played against, and he's been making a living in the National Football League as a long snapper. You get into junior high school in a couple of years, you're going to have more choices that you'll be able to make. You get in that high school level, and the choices become more options that you have to choose from. In fact, when you think about it, when you grow up in life, no matter what you want to be, probably it's going to be because of choice, because of what you like and what you've chosen to do, who your friends are, and for the guys who the girlfriend is, and so forth. We have the greatest power is the power to choose.
After enthusiastic applause, the proud graduates with diploma in hand were joined by parents, teachers, and guests for a reception following the graduation.
Hi,
Hi, this is Melanie Rice with JCTV, and I'm here with Dean Johnson, who is a marketing assistant of Hammond Henry Hospital, to talk about the new expansion. He's going to talk about the floor plans. Dean?
First of all, Melanie, is a $6.4 million project, and the groundbreaking was last year in approximately February to March. The existing hospital started right here. Elk Street ran along here. The extended care unit on College Avenue is here. Then all of this is existing building. The new building includes this with the emergency area, new imaging area, also physical therapy, pharmacy, and a new lobby, and the outpatient clinic area, which is right now in a trailer near the current emergency room exit, will be housed right there.
All right, Dean, here we are. What are we looking at?
Well, right now we're in the main hallway, which will connect the outpatient care center with the existing building, and from south to north, right now you're looking towards the north end, and this hallway will give you access to both the gift shop and physical therapy. Also, you'll be able to look into the pharmacy from here, and at the end of the hallway will be the admitting and the lobby of the hospital. There's plenty of windows in this section right now. They've got some drywall work to do yet, as you can see, and also some finishing work as far as the floors and painting right now.
Great. Well, how many people are usually in here at one time?
As far as the construction crews, I'd say there's probably approximately 20 people in this section of the building right here in the hallway doing their work. Right now, they're doing quite a bit of finishing, and they're not taking their time in doing it. They're going ahead and really going about their work well. We're looking at April 15th right now as what the contractors have told us we'll be able to start moving into the building. So we're all optimistic for that and hoping that we can meet that.
That's not very... All right, well, where are we right here?
Right now we're in the main lobby of the building. Right behind us we have the airlock doors. There are 2 doors, and that will be the main entrance to the building, leading to the canopy, which will cover the cars when you come to drop someone off or something of that sort. Also, the north parking lot, it's a new lot that'll be able to have between 50 and 75 new parking spots, so that'll be a big help here at the hospital. Another thing, there will be a volunteer reception desk where the hospital auxiliary will house reception for all the patients, anyone coming into the building that's not quite sure where they are or where they need to go. That'll be another big help. And Betsy Wiffles, our volunteer coordinator, has been doing a good job with that, trying to get those people together.
Well, that'll be really helpful, just in general, because they'll be more visible, definitely, volunteers, which will help their program, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Also, we have, right after the main entrance, you'll have the new admitting desk. That's over this way. We can start stepping over this way. The admitting desk will be located right around the corner here. Have a high lift in front of it right now as they're still working on some of the drywall. We could step around here also, just kind of see what you're getting into. There'll be some filing cabinetry back in this area. Then the actual desk will be around the corner over this way. There will be a receptionist at this desk also, more for the admitting and that type of thing. Some clerical space, also some office space will be back around the other corner. And as we move this way, we'll get into the outpatient clinic area. Also behind us are some restroom facilities for people that are waiting for both the emergency and the regular services. And the emergency services are straight down this hallway. So these are the doors to the new emergency area. They're also airlock doors as we have in the lobby. The emergency area, one nice part about that is that it's separate from the outpatient or the main lobby, whereas right now both the outpatient clinics and emergency come through the same entrance. That'll be a nice addition to separate trauma cases from patients and the general public that comes to see the new building
Cut
and
down on
use our services.
congestion in general. I mean,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
That'll be a big help. And right behind us, we have the emergency nurses station. Also off to the right here, we have the emergency crash room. That's where patients will come, especially severe trauma cases, that type of thing. A lot of the crash kits for jump-starting people again will be located in here. Some real technical terminology.
Well, that's all right. I understood it.
That type of thing. And around the corner then are the outpatient clinic rooms and a couple more emergency rooms too.
And the crash unit is an addition in general.
Yeah,
really
that's
what we have.
That's right. We do have a fairly large crash room right now. That's a little bit of emergency lingo there. But it will be expanded somewhat. They'll have room for a few more patients if there are larger trauma cases and that sort of thing.
Okay, great. And what do we have down the hallway here?
Down the hallway, you'll have access to the imaging services, also access to the back entrance of both the pharmacy and the physical therapy units, and also if you would go to the right or the left, you'll have access to the main building too through the existing purchasing area and the existing entryway. At the end of this hallway will be an elevator also to get to the second floor, which can take you to the medical surgical area.
Great.
Now we're in the mechanical room of the building. We're on the second floor. If you take a look to our left, this will be the medical surgical entrance where you'll go into the second floor of the existing building. Right around the right-hand side, down these steps, is the elevator that will take you from the outpatient care center's ground floor to the second floor here. Behind us, we have the electrical units right through this doorway. House all the electrical for the building. As you go across the room, you can see some of the boilers, the water heaters, also some air handling and ventilation systems. This is also where the fireproofing and the sprinkler systems start at. It's kind of the central nervous system for the outpatient care center.
This is a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, that's right. It takes quite a bit of piping, quite a bit of wire to get this place running. Got to keep the lights on and the water running all the time, and also the heat in the building. So, and air conditioning, all that is handled in this area right now.
There's still a lot of stuff laying around too, isn't there?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of work to do as far as doing a little bit of pipe fitting still. Also, the electricians will be running into the fixtures and doing some finalizing work there too in the next couple weeks.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for the tour. It was great.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, or
Sure.
thanks for coming.
Having us. Okay.
Thanks for coming out to see
No,
us. We appreciate it, and
definitely.
we're looking forward to opening the new building and showing the public what we're trying to accomplish
Well,
for them.
and this will be a big asset for the community. People probably don't think about healthcare until you really need it.
Right,
And this will be really nice.
That's the key. You don't really know where we are until you need us.
Right. And when we need you, we usually need you. So.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Sure.
Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to Doghouse Showcase, the real estate show that focuses on a previously overlooked segment of the market. Come along with us from the comfort of your own living room as we tour a wide variety of properties. So relax, curl up on a rug, and enjoy Doghouse Showcase. No need to wipe those muddy paws. This beautiful home has its own concrete patio, tastefully decorated and large enough for a St. Bernard. Call Bailey Rice at Beagle Realty. This traditional home is an excellent value. It's very spacious and just needs your finishing touches. Owner is being transferred. Call Rocket Beck at Dalmatian 21. Looking for extra income? Live in this unique A-frame and rent out billboard space to help with the payments. Wonderful location overlooking the creek. Bailey Kennett is waiting for your call. The perfect starter home is waiting for you, and there is no problem getting the furniture through this front door. convenient location is a short run to the dumpster behind the iron kettle. Call Doberman Homes and ask for Bailey Rice. If you're buying or selling pet property, don't try it alone. Call a professional. Call Doghouse Showcase. Hi, this is Howard Beck with JCTV, and we're out at Sisters 2, north of Geneseo off of Wolf Road. And we're here today with the business partners who are sisters also, Shirley and Jean. And how's business going so far?
Great. It's been very busy.
Is this time of year usually this kind of when things start picking up, or is just always busy around here?
It's always busy, and normally you do slow down a little bit this time of year, but it's really been picking up much more than we thought it would be.
Well, what kind of things are you working on right now?
Well, you're doing
West Virginia's
Junior Women's Club.
Junior Women's Club, Indiana's, Illinois, naturally.
You really do a lot of business all over the country, and a lot of people probably don't realize that for a little shop here just outside of Geneseo, there's finished product that goes out of here and literally goes all over the country.
Right. Right now, we just got in 500 golf shirts for the National Left-Handers Golf Association tournament in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, which we're working on right now.
That sounds great. And how long have you been in business now?
Oh, 7 years.
And this literally started in your own basement?
In the basement, right. Then we built the building 5 years ago.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. And then we just put a new addition on, which doubled the size this summer.
How many people are employed out here?
We have
9.
8 full-time and 1 part-time.
Well, that's great. Well, one of the reasons why we're out here today, in addition to just finding out a little bit more about your business, is JCTV was kind of interested in getting some caps of our own made up, and we thought maybe we'd watch it go through the process. So here's what we've got. Is this kind of what people usually bring in, just something about like that? And
Graphic art is preferred, much so. That's what you start with.
you probably get sketches on the back of napkins and all sorts of things.
Which doesn't work too well.
Okay, great. Well, maybe we'll take a look in back and see how the JCTV caps are coming.
It's very easy because it is just lettering, which is in the computer. We have about 40 different alphabets that we can go from, and it's just a matter of making yours thicker or the size we want it, and it's there. And all we do is run it over to a disk and take it to the other machine and run it. Just, you want to put a hat on? Yeah. It's on here, right?
Sorry.
You don't like it, I'll make it rub right out of your hand.
So this is all computerized here, Shirley.
Yes.
Is it literally hooked up to a personal computer? I see that we plugged a disk in over here with
Right.
with our information on it.
Now, these two are not hooked to this computer. They have a computer within the machine itself
Oh, I see.
that is handling just a disk. These 3 machines run straight from the computer rather than putting the disk into the machine.
So this is really high-tech equipment we've got here.
And these, they automatically trim the threads as you go on these two so that you don't have to do that.
It automatically goes to the color you need, too, as long as you program it in there right. If you program it in wrong, you're...
Then we're in trouble.
Yeah. She wanted silver on the blue hat, so that's needle number 6. So I programmed that in on needle number 6. And basically, if you get it programmed right...
Then you just stand back and let it sew away.
If it's sewing good, yeah, it should just go ahead and finish the whole design for you. Fascinating. It's got different speeds on it. You can crank it up. I haven't got... But more or less, according to the stitches, it decides the speed it wants to run. You can, if it goes from real low if it's real small stitches, and then
So if you had a production run of the same design, how many caps could you do in, say, an hour?
in an hour.
How many stitches is in the design itself?
On a design like this?
You can run this in about 5 minutes.
As long as you can keep them on the frame as fast as it can run it, because it can run it faster than what you can frame it, because you have to make sure you have this in a special spot, and you have to make sure it's on there right, or it's like this, and the boss doesn't like it.
Quality is number one.
The finished product that we've got it all set after it comes off the machine, and it looks great.
Well, thank you. There you are.
Okay, and there it is. And we'll just send this one, but we'll send it back to you, Melanie. Here you go.
Hey, thanks, Howard.
From Sisters 2, this has been Howard Beck with JCTV.
This is Melanie Rice, and I'm here with JCTV, and I'm here with Neil Castor from WQAD News, Channel 8, and we're going to talk about tornado safety tips. Now, I understand that May is a very pertinent month for tornadoes. Is that true?
Well, springtime in general. This is probably May is the peak month for both numbers and the intensity of tornadoes. Springtime, though, is when it really picks up, and that's when we usually see our big tornadoes. And May probably is the most active month.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't really know how tornadoes exactly form. How do we get one?
Well, that is a very good question. We could probably go on for a long time trying to explain exactly how that happens. The right ingredients include a warm, moist air mass, generally speaking, strong winds at high altitude, very dry air at high altitude, cold air at high altitude. Nowhere on the face of the planet Earth does all of this come together more often than it does in the central United States. So ordinarily these storms will form out of squall lines of thunderstorms. That is kind of an organized pattern. And most often we're talking about a storm that's associated with very strong winds at high altitude. And what happens is that some of the energy from that area, and I'm talking high altitude, 30, 35,000 feet, gets imparted to the thunderstorm, and it literally draws more air from the storm than what is being supplied, and that sets up a vacuum, which sets up a stronger updraft, and the whole storm kind of rotates. So there is a pattern here, especially with the big storms. The smaller tornadoes are the ones that are more difficult, actually, but the big ones seem to have a pattern of developing with very strong jet streams.
Okay, well, and at that point, what's the difference between then a watch, the condition is favorable, and then a warning? What are the difference when you're looking at
Somebody made a big mistake when they came up with, you never have two words that start with the same letter and have different meanings, A watch and warning will start with W, so it is a little confusing sometimes. A watch is typically something that covers a fairly large area. This is something that's issued by the National Weather Service. Actually, the Severe Storms Forecast Center has an office in Kansas City where there's nothing but a team of meteorologists that do nothing but look around the entire country every day for areas where severe weather may form. So that's their job. And usually when they pin down an area, we're talking about pinning down half a state maybe. And we get these things called watch boxes. And that's the thing where you hear, well, 70 miles either side of a line from Podunk to Podunk, and, and a large area is included. So that's a watch. And an easy way to remember it is just a watch means to be just what it says, to be on the watch. These things are usually issued in advance of the time that the storms actually develop.
Okay, and then a warning, of course, is then when one has been sighted?
Warning is when one has been sighted or strongly suspected on radar. And with that, then the warning comes from the local offices. The local National Weather Service office, of course, covering Henry County, Illinois, is in the Quad Cities at Moline, and Henry County falls in their jurisdiction. So when a warning comes out, it comes from that office.
Okay, and then at that point, from the National Weather Service, they make a phone call to our community, and then we can have our siren go off. Is that?
Yeah, ordinarily, different civil defense units are set up in different ways. Usually there's some coordination there, though, with disaster preparedness, where people are advised that there's a watch in effect and that the warning may be coming. And there may be various means. Ordinarily, I would say probably the quickest way to receive information is with a NOAA weather radio. Some may do it that way. I'm not so sure about the phone calls anymore. At one time, I think they did it that way, but the Weather Service is so busy, they don't have time to make phone calls to everybody.
Probably
So
not.
there is either the warning alarm on the NOAA radio or some other type of panic button, so to speak, that
Okay.
helps to get the alarm through.
Okay, and then they let us know.
Exactly.
Okay. And then when we do get a warning and we do hear the siren, we need to take shelter immediately. Is that correct?
Yeah, tornado warning means that the tornado's been sighted or is very strongly suspected by radar, and that's a case where action needs to be taken. And now we're to a point where the warnings are really kind of pinning down a part of a county. And so that's pinning it down close enough so
And
that if you
helpful.
hear a warning, you know that it's nearby and you really should be ready to take shelter.
And the best place for shelter in your home is?
Well, any way to escape the wind is to get underground.
Right.
And any place in the basement is considered to be the safest spot, assuming that you have a basement. You know, there was an old tale that said, well, you run to the southwest
Right.
corner of the
I was
basement.
just gonna
That's
ask
not
that.
necessarily true. In fact, a lot of research has shown that as these storms move along, if a house is to be moved from its foundation, chances are it's going to be moved eastward. Being on the west side is really not all that great
Right.
because debris that's being blown around could fall in there. A basement under a stairwell, for example,
Okay.
anything reinforced, a bench or something like that is considered to be, having gone through all the research of the damage that's been done, those places considered to be the more ideal places to be in a tornado, if there's such a thing.
Right, certainly. And then, of course, if you're driving, that could be a problem. What should you do then?
Yeah, it really is. Cars they just don't hold up to wind very well. You know yourself, just driving in a strong gusty wind on a clear day, that it can bounce you around a little bit. If you're going to be run down by a tornado, the best thing to do is to find a spot quickly out of the car and into a ditch, a depression, an overpass. I saw a piece of video from a couple of years ago where someone was on the highway and being cut off by the tornado. It's like the football player running down and somebody having the angle, and you know he's going to get cut off. They stopped under an overpass, kept the cameras rolling, and went up under the overpass and weathered it out. And the tornado actually did hit their location. It was pretty dramatic.
And they're very strong.
Yes.
Then, of course, when you're in a trailer, there are people out there that do live in trailers.
Yeah, I did myself for a while while I was in school. Spent some time in a mobile home. It's best if a mobile home community has some type of shelter available.
Okay.
Now, that's not always the case. What do you do then? Well, literally leave. You know, that can be done. I recall one storm when I was in school that was potentially bad enough, and I thought, well, I'm getting out of here.
Right.
And that's exactly what we did. We just went in a different direction.
Right.
Just to get away from it. But
And you do notice on news, that mostly it does hit trailer parks, it seems.
well, you know,
I mean, that's
people
what you
say
see.
that. Well, why does a tornado always hit
Right.
a trailer park? Well, for one thing, a mobile home, and I have nothing against mobile homes, but
No,
they're not
certainly.
constructed the same way a
Right.
frame dwelling would be. And the result is that even a strong straight line wind, sometimes these things start coming apart, and once they do, then you've got some real problems. So
Right.
they're just more vulnerable to strong winds, period. And a stronger frame home may be able to withstand a lot more than the trailer would.
Okay, and I should have asked this before, but during a watch, I know a lot of people stand out in their driveways and they look, and they hear and they try to listen. What do we need to be looking for and listening for?
Well, again, the watch situation just means that there's a potential for those storms to develop, and it's just a good idea to keep your eyes and ears open and be attentive to the weather and anything that might be changing very quickly. And that's often the case when these storms do form. They can become severe very quickly. So the bottom line, I guess, really is your own eyes and ears are still probably your best warning
Right.
device, and just to be aware of what's going on around you.
And at times the temperature drops very quickly and it becomes very still. I was in a tornado once and I remember this, and it just gets very green. I remember the sky being very green.
Yeah, and the reason for that deals with the fact that a storm that's going to produce a tornado is usually a very large thunderstorm, larger than the average. And by that I mean not necessarily in width, but in depth. And if these storms are piled up 10 miles deep, there's a lot of cloud there, and it does funny things to the lights. Number one, it just kind of blacks it out,
Yeah.
period. And the greenish tint sometimes is attributed to water within the cloud. There's so much water that light refracted through the water, and the fact that there's not much light ends up with this very dark-looking or purple or green type shade to it.
And I remember it being very loud. We could hear it coming. I mean, it was very scary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very loud.
Yeah, usually you can hear them. That's
Yes,
no problem.
certainly we did.
Yes.
When, during the time of day, do tornadoes mostly occur?
Well, Generally speaking, you'd have to say in the late afternoon and evening. I think there's a real peak around between 4 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon and evening. They can occur at any time of the day, any time of the year, but late afternoon, in the peak of the heat, and that is when we have the atmosphere the most unstable. And the air is actually at its warmest, and that generally happens in the late afternoon.
And just reading a few days ago in Tennessee, they had one in the morning. That's pretty rare, or?
Well, it is in the dead of summer in particular, although in the springtime, the ingredients that make these storms and make them really severe and make them the strongest tornadoes, which occur very often in the spring, the ingredients that are coming together there don't involve so much daytime heating as the ones that occur later on in the summer. So the mechanism that's producing that tornado can happen at midnight, at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 4 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. A storm of that magnitude can occur at any hour of the day. And that is a problem. I mean, let's face it, it's real scary enough. In the middle of the night, you can't see anything. But there are some clues that, some things that can be used as a hint for maybe spotting a tornado. Of course, lightning will illuminate the sky a lot. That's a good aid in trying to spot a tornado at night. And if there's a tornado there with all the power lines and things that are around, hey, these things do some major fireworks when they get hit by a tornado, and very often that is a clue too that there's something ordinary, not so ordinary going on there with that storm. So a couple of clues there that might help. Large hail too. Very often a tornado-producing storm will produce very large hail. And the way these things are aligned, tornadoes form actually on the backside of the storm. So usually, in most cases, you'll see a period of rain and very often some hail before the tornado strikes. We look at the sky and we see the dark cloud coming, we say, wow, there might be a tornado there. The front side of the storm hardly ever produces a tornado. It's usually on the backside, most often on the southwest edge of a storm. So those are the places to look and to be aware of it.
Okay, very interesting. Now, I'm sure they rate tornadoes just like they do earthquakes. And how do they rate them?
Well, there's a scale, it's called the F scale, after Dr. Theodore Fujita.
Okay.
From the University of Chicago. He's done a tremendous amount of research. In fact, there's some people that I went to school with who have worked with him, and they fly around in a Learjet and go above the storm and through the storm and over the storm and do all kinds of strange things. But he's done a tremendous amount of research and came up with this scale of rating tornadoes. It's called the F scale. And to pluck the numbers out, they're not nice, even, neat numbers like, well, 0 to 100 and 100 to 150. They're broken off from 75 miles per hour to 112 or something like that. As an F scale goes F0 to F5. Most storms actually fall into the weak category, but weak in this case is 100 mile an hour wind.
Yeah, and how weak is weak?
The ones that are really incredible are the F4, F5 tornadoes, where we're talking winds maybe approaching 300 miles per hour. Those are very rare, but they do occur. I witnessed an F4 tornado in West Bend, Wisconsin when I was in Milwaukee, and the devastation there was unbelievable. Just nothing but foundations left, and not even pieces of houses around. It was totally demolished.
I'm sure. Okay. Are there any other general safety tips that we haven't touched on that we need to?
Well, I don't know. We'll probably think of something when we're all wrapped up here.
Okay.
It's a kind of thing where I think I mentioned a little earlier that use some common sense. Your own eyes and ears are still your best warning device. Warnings are issued, remember, based on either a potential on a radar observation or the fact that a tornado has been sighted. Now, that's real fine and dandy for people who are downwind from that storm, but if the tornado warning is not issued until the storm is sighted, that means somebody saw it before there was a warning.
Right.
And maybe somebody didn't have a warning. So that's what I'm talking about when I say your own eyes and ears, really, and a little common sense when the weather is really threatening. Just kind of keep an extra eye on the sky and be alert to that.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. This was very informative.
Well, you're very welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Nice shot. Thanks. Hey, you get any more of those? No, this is the only one. Play for it. You're on. Off that tree, off that guy in the red shirt walking off the back of the green, nothing but cup. Okay. shot. Okay, next one. Line drive, off the brick wall, 2 bounces to the green, roll into the cup. You're on. Okay. Oh man, look, I can't believe that shot. How about this one? Line drive, through the viaduct, never. Over the gazebo, off the victory bell, onto the green, into the cup. You'll never do it, but you're on. Okay. Sweet shot. Okay. Yeah, I can top it. Okay. Line drive. No, wait. Head on backwards. Line drive all the way into town, off the old fish on the water tower, hits the corner of First and State, all the way back, nothing but cup. You're on. Ah!
641 boys and girls tumbled into J.D. Darnell High School on April 17th for the Tumbling Makes Me Disney Invitational Tumbling Meet. This competition, sponsored by the Geneseo Community Center, is one of the largest such events in the state. Seven different teams from throughout Illinois and Iowa traveled to Geneseo to participate in the U.S. Trampoline and Tumbling Association competition. The tumblers, ranging in age from 3 to 17, competed by ability level and age. The Tasmanian Tumblers, Geneseo's Community Center-sponsored team, was well represented with 90 competitors at the meet. Coaches Gail Hollis and Kelly Bennington were pleased with the 13 first-place finishes brought home by the Geneseo Tumblers.
Southwest Elementary has established a program that recognizes students that have demonstrated good leadership skills by being a good citizen to fellow students. A student from each class, 1st through 6th grades, is recognized as Citizen of the Month at an all-school assembly. The students nominate peers in their classes that demonstrate friendly and courteous behavior, as well as responsibility, positive attitude, and thoughtfulness towards others. The parents of the honored students are invited to the assembly without the winning students knowing until that day. It is a pleasant surprise for the winning students to see their parents attending the assembly. The staff at Southwest has invited many guest speakers to talk about why good citizenship is very important. They have had high school peers come and speak to the children as well as local celebrities. This month, Paula Sands from KWQC Channel 6 News visited and told why this award is such an honor.
You get older, sometimes you don't get that kind of recognition. You just have to do it because it feels good in here. Because you know to be a good person means that you're going to please yourself because you know you're doing well for others. Good citizenship is serving other people, and this is something that does come back to you. All the good things you ever do in your life come back to you. They really do. Sometimes not right away. Especially when you get older, you notice that. But I'm glad that you have the chance to be recognized for being good people and for doing good positive things in your school and for your friends and for your fellow students and for having tolerance and acceptance for people who are different from you. That's what's important about being a good citizen and being a good person in your heart. And
Additionally, Bill Menendez, building principal, received the Educator of the Year award from the PTA. There are good things happening in our schools in this community. This is just one of many programs in our schools helping to build children's self-esteem.
Geneseo's old water tower, which had stood as a city landmark for over 3/4 of a century, had its fate sealed in April as a demolition crew began its job of tearing the tower down. One of the first items of business was the removal of the historic fish from the tower. The fish was carefully lowered to the ground and removed by city personnel for storage.
This is Howard Beck with JCTV, and we're here by the water tower, and they've just lowered the fish off the tower. And I've got Roy Clavine here, who's going to give us a little insight on how the fish look when they brought it down. Roy?
Well, it's in pretty bad shape, actually. Probably the bottom part of it, where it was on the tower, looks like the bearing itself was wore out. I don't know how it even worked up there, really, the way it looked. And the top part wasn't in too bad a shape. But I think if a little reverberation, and a little paint, I think we can put her back up if we want to on another tower sometime.
That's the hope, isn't it, at this point, that it can get back up in the air somewhere? Right now it's being stored temporarily?
I believe it's being stored until they decide what they're going to do, whether they're going to put it on the new water tower that's across from you guys, or whether it's going to be out on Richmond Hill on a silo. Myself, personally, I would like to see it put back up on a tower approximately where it was and approximately the same height again. I would love to see it back there if possible.
How long has this fish been up, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about how it got up there in the first place?
I think it was put up in 1920, as near as I found out anyhow. It weighed approximately 125 pounds. They had it up the first time and it blew down. So then they redid it and put it back up, and it didn't work quite properly, so then they extended the tail and put a little lead in the head and made it so it would balance again on the bearing and stuff so that it would last a while.
Well, it's kind of tough to watch it come down today, isn't it?
Well, it's like losing a dear friend, because I'm in a position at home where I can set up my table, dinner table, and see it 3 times a day, which makes it kind of bad. It's kind of hard to lose an old friend.
Well, and a landmark for Geneseo. Well, thanks for talking to us, Roy.
Thank you.
The top of the tower was removed in dramatic fashion a few days after the removal of the fish. Demolition of the remaining tower legs and the brick riser then continued, with the entire demolition operation lasting approximately 1 week.
The Geneseo FFA chapter held their annual awards banquet at J.D. Darnell High School. Some of the individual awards presented were State Farmer Award to Derek Olson, the Star Agribusinessman Award to Craig Clemens, Outstanding Achievement Award to Eric Delp. The DeKalb Award, an Ag Alumni Scholarship, went to Matt Dwyer. The Paul Goodwin Memorial Scholarship was presented to Jenny Cross.
Thanks, Dave. At this time, I would like to introduce Willis, and Dell.
The JCs also presented a $200 scholarship to a senior FFA member who will be continuing their studies in agriculture.
On behalf of the Geneseo JCs, it's a pleasure to be here tonight to take part in your awards banquet. You may not normally associate agriculture with the JCs, but I think you would find that several of our members are involved in agribusiness, and many like me were raised on the farm, and it's a pleasure to give something back. Last month we concluded our local segment of the Outstanding Young Farmer program, and tonight it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to help someone continue their studies in agriculture. And so the winner of the 1994 $200 Geneseo JC Scholarship is Matthew Dwyer.
This is Brian Bertelson with the Geneseo JCs, and I'm here in the Geneseo City Park with Naomi Living Good. And Naomi, I understand that you're the chairperson of the Isle of Flags.
Yes, we have three co-chairmen, Pat Miller, Dorothy Young, and myself.
Okay, and this is Memorial Day morning, and we're out here at about 8:30. I understand you started this at about 6 or 6:30 this morning?
We, most of us were here about 5:45, and we had a large group helping us, and it went really fast.
You said you had about 75 people?
It would be close to there. We had over 20 post and 15 auxiliary, and then area citizens who have flags flying or who want to help.
Now, when did the Isle of Flags get started?
We came across the idea, the three of us that I just mentioned. We were doing an audit for the VFW Auxiliary, and one of the girls wanted to know what to do with her husband's flag. And we came up with this idea, and this was in early 1980. I started sending out letters to organizations asking for donations just before the end of the year in 1980. By Memorial Day, we had 50 flying, and we had our dedication on November the 11th in 1981, and there were 100 flying. And today we had 349.
349 this year. And I understand 10 of those were new this year, is that right?
Yes. 10 of those I had received between November the 11th and now, and then I have one at home, Mr. Loftus, that didn't get in time that will fly the next time, and I have several promises for more.
Okay. And now I noticed looking around the park that we also have some plaques in front of some of the trees, and maybe if you could just mention some of the other memorial monuments and so forth that we have in the park.
The plaques around under the trees are memorials to veterans. The auxiliary, VFW Auxiliary, puts in the poppies, and the American Legion puts in a flag. This happens just before the parade. The memorial services start.
Mm-hmm. And what, now we're standing in front of the main monuments here. Could you maybe just give, for some of us that are new in town, a brief rundown of what monuments are in the park?
Well, the American Legion and the VFW put the latter three out here. The first one started right after World War II. And it has the names of the two World War II men on. And because of the difficulty the Legion and the VFW had in obtaining names for the other, they went with sort of a blanket. And we have the Korean, the Vietnam, and World War I over on the other side.
Okay.
Each morning, I get up and go through my routine to get ready for the day. My preparations are ordinary: a shower, getting dressed, and eating breakfast. Then, every day, I reach for that special place on my dresser and put on that silver bracelet. It is different from a normal bangle. My bracelet has been clearly engraved with letters spelling Major Robert P. Rosenbach, USAF 05 MAR 70 SVN MO. This means a young man named Robert, a member of the United States Air Force, was declared missing in action on March 5, 1970, in South Vietnam. He was from Missouri. I never met Major Rosenbach, yet I wear his name on my wrist. When I was in 8th grade, I visited Washington, D.C. with my church choir. The most memorable place for me was the Vietnam War Memorial, a huge black wall with both ends vanishing into the ground. Every name carved on its immense face represents a lost life, a person who made the ultimate commitment to America. There were so many names. It was a calm and sunny day, yet all around me, people were crying. I thought I would never forget. I went back home, and the memorial's effect on me slowly faded. I ignored the fact that people in uniform were serving my country while I debated whether to wear the peach sweater or the green sweater to school that day. I forgot about the big black wall. Then I met a girl who always wore a metal bracelet, even if it didn't match her shirt. I asked her what was so special about it, and she showed it to me. It had a name on it, one name, and I remembered. I now wear an MIA bracelet every day, so I will not forget again. The wall was too powerful, too overwhelming. It shocked me, but at the time I just couldn't grasp it. Now, I concentrate on the people. One name is easier to understand. I think about Robert every day. Who was he? Why did he go to Vietnam? What sort of plans did he have for his future? When I put on Robert's bracelet, I'm renewing my commitment to remember. The American men and women who have died for our country must never be forgotten. And I'm making another commitment, a commitment to live for my country. If I actively work towards justice and peace, maybe I will affect just one more person. And one person can make a difference in another's life. If I see a child playing with a toy gun, I can hand him a book instead. If I see an angry face, I give that person my smile. And I believe it doesn't stop there. I influence one person who influences another, and another, and another. Together, we can work for a better America and a better world. Every night before I go to sleep, I go through another short routine. I brush my teeth, take out my contacts, and wash my face, just like other people do. And then, I take off my bracelet, place it on my dresser, and crawl into bed, thinking about a poem by Eve Miriam. I dream of giving birth to a child who will ask, "Mother, what was war?" Wishful thinking? Not necessarily. If each of us cared enough to influence just one person, this dream could become a reality. The unknown Major Rosenbach has made a difference in my life. Now I can make a difference to others. That is my commitment. That is the way to reach out, one step at a time. One name, one person, one action can make a difference.
Hello, this is Willis Ando with JCTV, and today we're going to talk to John Rowley, chairman of the Geneseo JC's Firework Committee, about the upcoming fireworks. And why don't we just start with the when and where, John?
All right, the fireworks this year in town will be on July 3rd at dusk in the evening. That's a Sunday evening, I believe, with the rain date set for July 4th, Monday evening, up at Richmond Hill Park.
And how much preparation does it take to put on these fireworks, John?
Well, as far as preparation, it's real heavy in manpower that day of the firing. A lot of us have done some background work as far as a few of us went over to near Burlington, Iowa about a month ago and went and watched a whole show fired to pick out what shells we do want and don't want for our show here in Geneseo. Then we let them know what we want to use or what we want, and they give us their dollar amount, and they script it out, and we get it.
Okay, and like on the July 3rd, what would be the typical scenario of the day?
Usually the guys the blasters, which would be about 7 or 8 of us, will meet down and pick up our mortars and things. As you see here in the background, we'll pick up some of those early in the afternoon, maybe 3 o'clock or so, and then we go up to the park and start digging them into the ground and setting them, and we get all our shells out and what they say, kind of bake them, put them in the sun and let them dry out a little bit more the last few hours. And then about 6 o'clock, the rest of our manpower shows up as far as the money collectors that most people are acquainted with up on the hill and around. So and then we just sit and wait for it to get dark and ready to fire.
And the show is paid for by the community then?
Yeah, everything's paid for by donations that evening. When you enter the park, whatever donations that's going right for the show that you see fired that night, people canvass, or other JCs canvass the area, and that's where they collect more from, like the deck and Walmart and places like that. And all that money goes for the show that night that you see fired. There's it's all donations, all of it.
Okay, great. I've noticed before the show starts, while it's still light yet, every now and then you hear this loud boom and you see this puff of smoke out. Is there a purpose to that?
Yeah, earlier in the evening, let's say the show's 9:30, usually around 8 o'clock or so, 8:30, we'll fire a couple shells up just to kind of see where our mortars are going, as far as make sure things are angled the right direction away from the crowd, and see what the wind's doing up above. As anybody that's been up in the park before knows that we're down kind of in the hole there where we fire from. So what's going on down there at the bottom is a lot different than what's doing up in the air there. So we fire some off early in the evening to see where the wind's blowing it and things like that. So.
Okay, and what range of shells do you normally fire off?
Our shells range from the size of what would be a 3-inch diameter, which is a little bit bigger than a baseball, I would guess, to some the size of a softball, and then you go up towards 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 12-inch shells. Our biggest one's a 12-inch shell that we fire off, and that shell itself costs close to $200, and that shell's the size of a basketball. But we just fire one of those. That's usually the bigger one you see right towards the end.
And I believe that's what this is for right here?
Yeah, this mortar right here is the one that'll fire the 12-inch shell out of it. We'll set it down in the ground, exposing about 6 inches of it, and put our shell in there, light it, and dive to the ground and get back away, because it's our final shell of the night, usually. So there's the work. When that goes up, the work's pretty much done, and it's the fun one.
And what are these two racks here on the side?
Okay, these racks are what we call our finale racks. They, when you see all the shells go up at once, close to 70 shells at one time, or pretty close to one time. They're all put together. All these shells are each one of these holes has a shell in it, and they all fire off just in a chain and just go up. These are 3-inch shells here, in comparison to what this would be as a 12-inch shell. But they're finale racks, and we have numerous racks like that.
Okay, do you have any maybe safety tips for people who are watching the fireworks?
Safety tips, anybody that's up in the park especially, sparklers and other things like that, be super careful with them. We even would suggest that you didn't bring them and keep them off the hill. There's too many other people around that could get injured by them and things like that. And it's just maybe something, if you avoid it completely, it would sure be a lot safer. Get to the park early. If you're parking up at the park, use some common sense when you're parking, as far as stay off the soccer fields and stuff like that, because I know the guys working in the park spend a lot of time to keep things in shape up there. And just use your head and use some common sense, and everybody can have a good time.
What kind of safety precautions do the blasters use when they're down below?
The blasters, most all of our blasters, I think all of us have been to a blasting school where we've been trained in what we're to do and not to do. As far as what we wear, it's usually about 95 degrees down there every 4th of July, or whatever day we blast. It seems like it's pretty warm down there. And long pants, long sleeve shirts, hats, glasses or goggles, whatever is easiest, and ear protection, and just whatever we can find as far as the safest way to protect the shell as far as when it's coming out of the mortar.
Sounds good. Again, the dates for that again, John?
It'll be July 3rd. That'll be Sunday, July 3rd at dusk, which usually it's around between 9:30, somewhere in there. And then the rain date will be July 4th, and that'll be the following Monday, and up at Richmond Hill.
Okay, and I believe it's customary when the blasters are all done to do the final handshake and make sure everything's still there. And this is Willis Ando with JCTV.
So Keith, you're going to start running, huh?
I sure am, Melanie.
Okay, well, running is a pretty inexpensive sport to start. All you need is a good pair of running shoes. Those aren't good.
What's
3 times your body weight is going to be on those basketball shoes.
Hey,
you need something with cushion.
I paid $12 adventure for these. I mean, they have to be good.
Well, it's a good idea that you go into a running store and maybe try a few on like this.
Okay.
Okay, it's a good idea because 3 times your body weight is going to be on those feet. You want to take care of your feet. It's very important.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, summer running is important. You look like you have some nice, breathable cotton.
Okay.
Because it's really hot and humid when you're running in the summer. Good, good. Shorts aren't too restrictive. Good. Okay. And rumor has it you want to try to fit into those favorite shorts, right?
Well, it won't hurt to lose a few pounds here.
Okay,
So,
running is a good way to do that.
Well, and I'm ready.
Okay, well, you want to just, first of all, you think you should stretch a little. Have you done any exercise lately?
No.
Okay, maybe we should stretch.
All right.
Okay, you want to stretch your hams.
Sure.
So bend over. Bend over. More. More.
All right. Is that enough?
all? Okay, count to 3.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, good. Well, do you feel stretched?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot. Let's go. You want to run against the traffic because you want people to see you.
All right.
And you want to see them.
All right.
Okay, so let's go. Okay. Come on, Keith. Here, water is very important for summer running because you're going to lose a lot of fluid, so you need to replenish those fluids. It's very important that you have the right.
Let's go. No, more fluid.
Okay. Well, maybe we should start off slow and just run for time instead of miles. If you want to get into that new pair of shorts, you're going to have to cut down on your intake of fats. Sorry. Okay. Maybe you should start off slow. Come on up here.
Okay.
Maybe you should just run for time first instead of miles.
Okay.
Because if you run for about 20 minutes, it will unstore some of the stored fat that you might have. And maybe a walk-run sequence might be a good idea to start out with. So maybe walk a little bit and then run a little bit continuously for about 20 minutes to start with.
Sure, okay.
3 times a week? Think you can do it?
Yeah, let's go.
Take some Okay. Well, run against the traffic. Let's go. Okay. Well, we just did a mile. I don't know where Keith is coming, so that's good. We talked about a few summer running tips today. It's important if you're going to run during the day that you'd find a shady course because it's going to be hot and humid. Morning running is a good idea. Afternoon, dusk running is a good idea. And maybe Keith will have some more tips, and hopefully he'll look better next month. Thanks a lot, and happy running.
This is Howard Beck for JCTV. We're down at the Geneseo Telephone Company. Recently, the telephone company announced the formation of a new company called GenSoft Systems, which is developing a new type of computer software. And we're here with Alan Anderson, the general manager of the Geneseo Telephone Company, to get a little more information on exactly what GenSoft Systems is. Alan?
Well, GenSoft Systems is a company that we developed to provide a service to other small telephone companies, initially in the state of Illinois and then throughout the nation. to do the billing function, the office record function, the plant record function for these companies. Most small telephone companies, and there are about 1,000 of them in the United States, do not have the facilities to be able to do their own computer software work. That they rely on a service bureau or a company like the one we have formed to be able to do all the software work that is required to get basically the information from the customer and get the bills out to the customer. So that's what we intend to do. We are developing a software company that will provide this service to other small telephone companies in the nation.
How did a company like the Geneseo Telephone Company end up being in a position of developing computer software? That just seems like, from growing up in Geneseo, it just seems like it's amazing that we're actually doing something like that right here in town.
Well, we don't feel it's amazing as far as this company is concerned. We've always felt that we were really on the leading edge of technology. This company has always done its own billing. We, in fact, always have had our own computer system. It's been a mainframe computer system. We have always had at least one or two computer programmers as part of the staff of the Geneseo Telephone Company, as long as we used computers. But what happened in this particular case, and I have to give credit to my daughters in this case also, because they had the good sense to marry well. My oldest daughter married a gentleman by the name of Bill Farb, who is really a computer programming genius. And he and his brother had formed a company up in Rockford, and then recently sold that company, a software company. And one day Bill was down here and we were walking around. I was showing him through the office, and as you would expect with him in the computer software business, I took him back and I showed him our computer. And I said, this is what we do with our computer. We do billing and so on. And every time I'd say we do such and such with this mainframe computer, he'd look at me and he'd say, a PC can do that. And I'd say, well, and we do this. And he'd say, a PC can do that. And I'd say, we do this. And he'd say, a PC can do that. So I finally said, okay, prove it. So that's basically what led to the development of GenSoft Incorporated. It was Bill then coming to work for us and bringing another individual from Decatur. He lived in Decatur then, and he came to work for us and brought another programmer that he knew in Decatur along, a gentleman by the name of Don Gallahan. And the two of them started the programming work on what now is developing into GenSoft Incorporated, or GenSoft Systems Incorporated. And it is basically taking what every other company that provides this service in the country is doing on mainframes and showing a way that it can be done on PCs using the Windows format. And we think that we have really a big jump on the rest of the industry. There are probably about a dozen other companies in the country that provide this same type of service. They all do it using a mainframe type computer. As I say, we think that we have a big jump on the industry in that respect, because we will be the first ones out there providing the same service to the same customers, but we're with PCs and we're with Windows. We're not on a mainframe, and that's the big difference.
That's great. How long has this been going on here in Geneseo without us knowing about it?
Well, it actually started about, let's see, what would it be? About 16 months ago now is when that conversation took part, where it said, okay, prove it, and Bill and Don actually started working. It was a year ago last Christmas.
And we've got another son-in-law that's kind of heading up the...
That's correct. The other son-in-law then, Tim Yeager, has a real talent for organization. And where Bill is the software programmer, Tim is the organization man. And he basically is now the manager. He is the general manager of GenSoft Systems Incorporated. And Bill actually now carries the title of Director of Research and Development for GenSoft Systems Incorporated. And the two of them are a perfect fit. It is really working well.
That's great, and it's exciting to have this kind of thing going on here in Geneseo. If it's okay with you, we'd like to go back and talk to Tim a little bit and have him show us what this program can do.
Oh, be my guest.
Okay, thanks, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're here with Tim Yeager, who's the general manager of GenSoft Systems, and Tim is going to give us a little bit of a hands-on demonstration of what the system's going to do, and also tell us a little bit more about it technically. Tim, who are the actual customers going to be for this system? I mean, are you going to take this and sell it to a US West or an Ameritech?
No, our potential customers are going to be smaller telephone companies. Geneseo Telephone Company has about 6,500 access lines, and we're the second largest smaller independent telephone company in the state. There's really two tiers of telephone companies. There's the very large, and then there's the smaller, and of the smaller ones, we're the second largest in the state. And so our market is really more our size companies on down to the gamut, and there's companies out there as small as a couple hundred access lines.
How many customers like that across the country would there be then?
Potential across the United States would be about 1,000 potential customers.
Okay, so there's a lot of potential activity for this product.
Correct.
Do you think the company has the potential to end up being a huge major employer in Geneseo? Are we looking at something 5 years down the road that 500 people are going to be working at?
We won't have 500 people, I can tell you that much for sure. However, if things go as we hope they go, in 5 years we could be for Geneseo, a fairly good-sized employer. We could have maybe as many as 20 employees quite easily in 5 years if things go by best-case scenario.
Well, that'd be great for younger people coming through school now to have the opportunity to get into some sort of computer-related field.
Right. It'd be good for the community, and it's good for obviously the telephone company as well.
Okay, great. Well, can you give us a little demonstration of what the system actually can do here?
Sure. The first thing here is the customer service, and this is probably something that some of the customers who come into our office might actually see. But within this, you can see that we've got a system. It's all Windows-based system, which is really what's going to separate us from our competition. We're the only product that we're aware of out there today with a Windows-type environment. Everything else is a mainframe environment, which is a character-based environment. We're getting away from knowing commands, everything else. It's all point and click. It's a lot easier to find your way around.
And that's probably the biggest difference between this and what this system will be replacing, isn't it? The old mainframe,
right,
which require more language and more entry to a very simple PC-based system.
Right. Our old mainframe system, which we are still using, we're in the process right now of converting over. The old mainframe system, our customer representatives in the front office, they had to know a lot of commands. They have to know that if you do this, if you add digitone, you need to put this command into the computer. With this, you just go in and click on the features, and you're clicking digitone and adding digitone to that customer's record.
And they can pull up an individual customer very easily, and with the system all being integrated, with one entry, if someone comes in and wants new service, can we provide a new listing and send out the service order and kind of tie all those things together?
Right. It's a fully integrated package. Today, the way it works is the ladies would have written down a service order by hand, sent it to what we call our test board area, which is our property records area. They would do their work on it, send a serviceman out to get a cable pair worked up. Then they'd send it on to our switch room, who would assign what's called an LCE, which is a location on the switch that provides the dial tone. Then it'd go back to our test board and back to our front office. Under this environment, once the front office enters the information into the computer, it goes through the computer to the test board and the switch, and when the switch is done, it's done. There's no more taking it back through the processes to the front office where they then work the numbers and figure out prorating and all that stuff. It's all done automatically.
Great. So it'll save a lot of time, be a lot more efficient system.
Right. Right now it's not more efficient because we're doing both systems. But once the old system is out, it's going to give us a lot of efficiencies. And it's going to give us a lot of management capability that we did not have in the past. Through some of our property record information, we're going to be able to run reports on what types of problems we're having, what cases of trouble we're having, so that we can start projecting where we're going to have problems in the future with some of our outside plant.
So at this point, we're still working the bugs out, not quite ready to put it in a package, and
we're getting close. Our Cambridge customers can anticipate receiving the new bills in July from the new system, and Geneseo can look forward to new bills in August. At that time, we will be converting over to the new system. At this point, our biggest obstacle has been data. With the old system, everything was codes, so if they had new features or something, they just assigned new codes. Well, ours, we're trying to get all the data correct so that when we run reports and everything, the information that we're getting out of the computer is as correct as possible.
Sounds great. Well, good luck to you, and I'm sure the whole community is kind of watching this with a lot of interest, and wishing you the best of luck.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. For JCTV, this is Howard Beck with Tim Yeager at GenSoft Systems in Geneseo.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Melanie Rice, and I'm here with JCTV, and I'm here with Connie Smith-Benning, who is Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce and the Geneseo Development Group. And she's going to talk about some new developments here in the Geneseo Chamber about 3 items. The Mel Foster development, New the Victorian magazine, and some tourism things that we're going to be talking about here at the end. Connie, what are some things going on here in Geneseo as far as the Mel Foster development?
Well, that's something we've been working on primarily through the Geneseo Development Group. And Mel Foster and Bob and Stan Vester have formed a joint venture to hopefully develop a residential and commercial area south of Interstate 80 on the interchange there.
Great.
And it'll be approximately 200 plus homes and 10 to 13 acres of residential development. And they're in the very beginning stages. They plan to bring the proposal to the city, I think, at the next development board meeting. So we're excited about that because we really feel that our businesses need the residential growth in order for them to continue to be profitable in the future. We need to bring more people into Geneseo. So we're excited about that.
And we're running out of places to build also. So that would be great.
I think most people are aware of the fact that there is a real shortage of housing in Geneseo, and we hear that from the realtors. We hear it from people who are looking for rental property.
Yes, definitely.
So we think it's very important that we do what we can to encourage developers to develop new residential areas.
Now, you say this is in the planning stages. Do they have any tentative times and dates?
Well, they would like to get started as soon as possible. However, now that the summer is, progressed along pretty quickly here, I'm not sure that they'll be able to, get all the necessary paperwork done in order to start something yet this year. There will be infrastructure that needs to be laid, sewer and water, and that type of thing, which takes some time. So I'm not sure at this time what their timetable is.
And that's very exciting for Geneseo. And you're right, there is a shortage of places to build and that sort of thing.
And there are a number of other residential areas which I'm sure people are aware of that are being developed also with the rural and what's being planned at Ford Hills and then the apartment complex that's been proposed on Chicago Street. So we really are seeing a lot of positive signs that things are developing in Geneseo.
And social growth in general will be good. So that's a nice upswing for the town. Great. Another thing that we wanted to talk about was the New Victorian Geneseo magazine. Now, I read it. It was neat. It was really neat. Now, how did this come about?
Well, I had been to a little community near Denver, Littleton, Colorado, at Christmas time and was enjoying some of their Christmas festivities. And I noticed in all of the stores that there was a magazine called Littleton. And I thought, with all the neat, interesting people in Geneseo and the neat old homes, and it just seemed like there would be a wealth of things that we could write about, that even though we're a smaller community than Littleton, that perhaps we could do a magazine maybe just a couple times a year. So I talked to my board about it and got a group of volunteers together, and everyone was really excited about it. And so we sat down, we came up with some story ideas, and asked different people in the community if they would be willing to write the stories, and they were excited about that, and just they did a tremendous job. We have had so many compliments on the magazine, and it's a tribute just to the fact that they came up with the creative ideas of the things that we should write about, and we're actually willing to commit the time and write them. And like I said, they just all did a wonderful job. So I think most everyone received it in the shopper, and then we've also put it out in the businesses. We've put it in the motel rooms.
Great.
We've gotten some up to Galena and in the Visitors Center in the Quad Cities. So we're using it not only to promote tourism, but also to promote residential development. The realtors have been using it in their parade of homes.
Oh, neat.
And we send it out in our relocation packets that we get requests for from people who are interested in moving to Geneseo. And we know that people are sending it to family members in other parts of the country. So it's really getting the kind of distribution that we hoped it would.
And you said twice a year, so there's a summer copy and then...
Right, we hope to do one that would come out about Thanksgiving, just in advance of the Victorian Walk, to help promote that event as well as other things that are going on at that time. We haven't developed our list of stories yet, but we'll probably get together later this summer and start working on the next issue. And it is a volunteer effort, so if there are other individuals in your audience who would be interested in writing a story, or perhaps who have an idea they'd like to suggest to our editorial board, we'd be more than happy to have their involvement.
That's great, and this is a really nice place to live and to be, and that would be nice for other people to know that too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Well, along with tourism, you guys have been doing some t-shirt sales and that sort of thing to kind of promote tourism here in the town and some pride by wearing Geneseo. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, we've really tried to renew our tourism effort this year. Velma Wilkerson is chairing the tourism committee along with Tammy Clements, who works here at the Chamber office. Velma has also assumed responsibility to be president of the Henry County Tourism Group, and then she's also our delegate to Western Illinois Tourism. So when she took tourism on this year, she really jumped in full force. And so we're working on a number of things, one of which is to develop some bus tours, working with some bus companies and with seniors groups. You know, a lot of the banks have and hospitals have started seniors groups, and that's a special group that you can target for 1 or 2 day trips to a community. We know that it's not likely we're going to get people taking week-long trips,
Right.
especially since the trend just in general is for people to take shorter trips.
Right.
And we feel that Geneseo is ideal for a 1 day trip or a 2 day trip, and that's what we'll be promoting through the bus tours. The t-shirts that people may have seen during the music festival, we have them in white and navy that say Geneseo. They were designed and made by Sisters 2, which is one of our businesses in Geneseo. They also did the hats, and we've been selling those during the music festival and here in the chamber office, and they actually have sold so well that we are going to have to place another order this week.
Great.
And the money primarily is going to be used for the tourism group to do tourism brochures and other things to promote Geneseo. We also have a Bethany Lau Original Santa, and we're selling raffle tickets for that, also to raise money for tourism and some of our other promotions. And those tickets also can be purchased at the chamber. So we feel like we're really out there selling a lot of things to try and raise extra funds to really start promoting things the way we'd like to. And I think with what Velma's doing, and she had a lot of volunteers during the music festival helping her sell these things, and that's what the chamber thrives on, is volunteers. We couldn't do it without our volunteers.
And
all
I'm
of
sure
these
you have a
different events.
lot.
We do, and we have
Yeah.
a core group that we can always count on, and we really appreciate that.
That's really great, and it's nice to know that, because I've heard a lot of things that are going on, and I know when I have people come visit, they have never heard of it until they get here, and then they think, wow, why doesn't anyone else know about this?
Right, I had a couple friends in town this weekend, one from Southern Illinois and one from Wisconsin, and we went on the garden tour that the Art League put together, which was just wonderful. And then I also had them visit Bishop Hill, and while we were over there, we ran into some women who had been on the garden tour, and they didn't know who we were or where we were from, but they were just raving about the garden tour. They thought it was so well organized, especially being as it was the first year.
Right.
And it really was. It was a wonderful event, and it's so nice to see all these different groups putting together things like that for the community.
And we can just stay here, and look to see what we have within our community.
Right.
That's really good. Is there anything else that you want to add about some new things that you're doing here at the chamber?
Well, I think that covers some of the main areas that we've been working on.
Great. Well, this was really exciting, and I'm sure everyone will be very interested in hearing about the new things that are coming up.
Great.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And I'm Melanie Rice, and I'm from JCTV.
Coming up on JCTV, we have highlights of the Geneseo Music Festival, which was held last month. And for those of you who weren't able to see the full parade or in the parade and couldn't see it, JCTV was there and has full coverage of the whole parade, in addition to the Marine Corps Band concert that was held in the park. These copies are available at the City Library and can be checked out, as well as any past JCTV program.
Yes, and also coming up, we have a mud volleyball tournament that the high school kids do at the end of each school year. And it's always a lot of fun, and they always get really dirty. So now I think we're going to go to the music festival highlights, sights and sounds of Geneseo.
Float, sponsored by Worth Plumbing and Heating and Cooling.
That looks to be quite an extensive float.
That is. It's pretty neat.
There are a lot of hours that go into this that we never see. We just see the finished product. They're going to make a Yui here for everyone to see it. That's great.
Yeah. Nice one.
It's 11:30.
11:30? Oh.
It's 11:30.
Oh. Wow.
What a dream.
Oh, wow.
Well, so, see you tomorrow, same time. See you later.
Diet Sugar-Free Cola for the shape that can't wait.
One of the real landmarks of Geneseo is the Richmond Hill Barn.
A lot of us drive by the barn all the time when we're on the interstate, but maybe very few of us have been inside and actually seen what goes on here at the Richmond Hill Barn Theater. So we took the JCTV camera crew and went inside and decided to find out what goes on inside this landmark. Well, we're here on the main stage of the Barn Theater at Richmond Hill, and I'm with Mike McBride, the president of Richmond Hill Players. And Mike, we're actually in the middle of a rehearsal right now, it looks like, for an upcoming performance.
Well, we sure are. We've got our August production coming up, which will open up on the Thursday the 4th, and we'll run that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the following Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The production this month will be a comedy called Let It Rain, and it's a modern-day takeoff of Noah's Ark. We have Dave Rash playing God, and a number of other folks filling in the cast. So it's been a good time, and we're looking forward to getting open here.
This is like the third play so far this year, I think. Is that correct?
It's the third barn play, yeah. Our season begins at really with our dinner theater at the first of the year. We give 2 dinner theaters each year, one in March and one in November at the Deck. And so we will have this play in August. We'll have Crimes of the Heart in September, and then we'll finish up this 1994 season with a play called Who's On First at the Deck in November.
And you just completed a fundraiser up here just in the month of July, Mike, and there's been a lot of things going on up here at the barn. Maybe you can tell us how the fundraiser went and where the money was going.
Oh, gladly, gladly. We have put about $50,000 into the first floor of our barn as far as renovations this year. And the fundraiser took place last Saturday evening, and what that allowed us to do is to finish off all of our work downstairs. We were very fortunate, and we picked up contributions after our expenses of about $1,000, which goes along with a very generous grant from the Geneseo Foundation we received this year of $10,000 to make our lobby area, consolidate our rehearsal hall, our costume shop, and our large prop storage all into one location now. Before, those were spread around town and we paid rent on them. But now we've got them under one roof, centrally located and very easily accessible for everyone. We had a real good time Saturday night. The variety show was hosted by Sam Spleer here from Geneseo and Susan McBride from WQPT, and we had about 100 people here to share that, and we just really lived it up.
Are you still looking for more help? Can people send money if they would like to help support you?
Listen, we could always use a little money, Howard. We have additional plans. Maybe I should say that. It's just not the downstairs we're looking at. We have 2 other projects that we'd like to run into in the future. One of them being the addition of an elevette for people who cannot manage the stairs very easily, as well as kind of a revamping of some of the things up here in our stage area. And of course, if anyone would like to help us out, we would gladly accept that. Donations are tax deductible and can be sent to the Richmond Hill Players, Post Office Box 181, Geneseo 61254.
Okay, Mike, if people from the community would like to get involved out here and maybe in front of the stage or maybe behind the scenes, how would somebody go about seeing what you guys are up to out here?
Good question, Howard. And you know, we should say that for every person that appears on stage, we probably have 3 to 4 people behind stage doing things that don't necessarily need any theatrical training or experience. We have people who operate set, maintain the lights, the sound. We have people, of course, like any good business, who take care of the money, our concession stand, our ticket sales. We have people who maintain the props, the costumes, and who build the sets. And so if anyone is interested in joining the Richmond Hill Players, they can certainly call me personally, or they can call our number, which is 944-2244.
Okay, Mike, that's great. There's a lot of things going on up here. It's another one of those things that a lot of us in Geneseo take for granted. It's great entertainment. They draw people from all over the area, and come on out and check it out. Mike, one more time, maybe you can remind us what the names of the plays are and the next two performances.
Glad to do that. Out here at the barn in August, we'll have a comedy called Let It Rain. In September, we'll have another comedy called Crimes of the Heart. And at the deck in November, we'll have a farce called Who's On First. All of them excellent entertainment and particularly good family fun on this show and the dinner theater.
Okay, great. Come out and see them. Reporting from the Barn Theater with Mike McBride, Richmond Hill Players, I'm Howard Beck for JCTV.
Anything to satisfy television.
Boy, I'll tell you, you get these TV folks in here and they just tell you what to do, and you just
JCTV.
completely throw down your normal routine.
Rich, could you clean the bathroom?
Okay, let's see here.
I used my trivia about the bathtub. No, hospital bed.
Experienced the real-life tale of an untrapped family who fled from Austria to America during World War II.
Kind of gets you in the mood to talk sports, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
All right, we've got youth golf tournament.
Enjoy such favorites as Edelweiss.
We got that fundraiser tomorrow, and Maple Leaf girls tennis camp.
Oh, I got a hospital bed here.
Come alive with the sound of music.
It's time to be serious now.
What's that? Yeah.
It's time to be serious.
I got any of that blizzard?
Yeah. Oh, it just sticks right here.
6:13 at WGEN. Welcome to Sports Talk on this Tuesday morning. I'm your host, Rich Kenny, along with Rick Pierce in the studio. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning to you, Mr. Kenny. Beautiful day. Hey, July weather. This is fantastic. Can't beat it.
That's right. Well, Rick, we're both
You've only
standing
got
up today.
You only got what? About 3 days left, and you're out of here.
4 sport talks.
3 days and a wake up.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we're standing up. Well, you normally sit down at this time of the day, but we got JCTV in the studios. Always wanted to be on TV. Move that camera over here, Keith, a little bit. Get it straight away. Hi, Mom.
Try to find Rick's good side if you can.
Yeah. Let's see. There's no good side. I can't turn around. There we go.
All right. Well,
All right. Let's talk sports on a Tuesday morning here on WGEN Sports 1, Rich Kenny.
Well, we had 63 participants in the 3rd annual Geneseo Youth Golf Tournament yesterday, sponsored by Country Club, WGEN, and McDonald's. Tournament co-director Gary Harlacher stopped in a little bit earlier this
Hi, I'm Deanne McCullough reporting for JCTV. JCTV's cameras got going early one morning and went behind the scenes with the WGEN morning crew, Rick Pierce and Rich Kenny. Here's some highlights of that visit to the station.
Pop me up some.
Righty, Rick. We'll do that maybe after sports talk this
All right,
morning.
but Roger was really satisfied and really excited. All right, we're going to give him some Billy Joel. Still rock and roll to me. Good Lord willing, and the CDs work. Seven-second ramp.
Get that flower out of the way there, Pete.
I hope that wasn't strategic.
Make sure I push the right button. Good Tuesday morning to you. Rick Pierce with the WGEN. 6:21 is the time. Stay tuned. I got a kids quiz this morning. That'll be coming your way between, let's say after the 8 o'clock hour here on WGEN. $107 in that sponsor wheel pot. I'll be spending that between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Here's Billy Joel. Stay tuned on Farm Break coming your way next here on Farm One. Well, we got that one on. Let me turn that monitor down. I'm used to turning my monitor way up. Because Rich and I dance from time to time.
We don't want to interfere with anything.
No. We lost all of our popcorn certificates. This is normally a time when Rich and I blow our noses and cough and hack and all this sort of thing, but since we're on TV, we can't do that. Always like to give them the time early in the morning so they know how long they got to get to work. 6:41, the time of WGEN. Rick Pierce with you. Both sides of the story. This is WGEN. I'm going to be talking to Kurt Crockett right before the top of the hour of 7 o'clock. And this morning we discovered where the Clintons got their health plan. The idea for their health plan has been revealed. I know where it came from. I'll be talking to, well, I guess Kurt's on vacation. I'll be talking to Jimmy Sorensen from the Chicago Atkinson Livestock Market. Stay tuned. Sports 1 WGEN. I found out where he got his health plan, Rich. Brave New World. The guy that wrote it talked about a totally controlled, humans were totally controlled by the government with an allotment of feel-good drugs.
George Orwell.
Of course, you're a Democrat, aren't you? Who? Aldous Huxley. Yeah.
Good. Deanne.
Well read. Deanne McCullough. She must have got that out of a popcorn box or something. I'm a real macho.
We're here this morning with WGEN's very own Rich Kenny and Rick Pierce. And
Pierce. Pierce. It's Pierce. P-I-E-R-C-E. I've been called. Said some Eastern friends that used to call me Pierce.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Rick.
Oh, okay.
Let's start out first with a question. How long have you guys been doing the morning show together?
Been 3 years and 9 months.
It looks like the 9 months here is starting to show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been here about 4.5 years at WGEN, and Rich joined us a little bit later on, and we've been a good morning team ever since. Well,
wreaking havoc.
I don't know whether that's the right word to use. But.
So really, you were only here like another year beyond Rich coming here.
Yeah,
Seems
about
like you
6
guys
months. About 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
What were you doing before, Rick?
Oh, I worked at the Chicago Atkinson Livestock Market over in Atkinson.
Rick was wandering the streets.
I was a part-time auctioneer, 40, quarter, half, somebody, how much, about half, 42, half, 40. But Rich, I gave that up.
And you came right out of college?
Brief stint in Knoxville, Iowa.
He's a diaper dandy. Diaper dandy.
Great. And Rich, you're leaving the end of the week to head on to Western Illinois?
Yep. As this program airs, I will be moving in.
Well, it sounds like the sound
down
of music.
in Macomb.
It's a sad time at WGEN. Yeah.
Enjoyed my stay here in Geneseo.
I mean, Kenny and I have been through so much together. We've started to think alike, which is frightening.
We've done 4 barrel sales.
4 barrel sales at the Henry County Fair. 3 state championship ball games for the Maple Leafs down in Bloomington Normal. And, I mean, we've had a lot of fun together.
What about,
it's okay if I pick my nose?
It's fine. Go ahead. Do what you got to do, Rick.
I mean, I got to get ready to go on here. Okay.
The last, the last fall football season, I experienced my very first time with both you guys doing on-air and everything like that. I don't know how anyone's going to be able to follow that.
Well, I don't think they really will. You know, I mean, the quality. No, it's one of those things that people get used to the voices. And Rich and I try to be very positive about the kids, the coaching staff, and we try not to downgrade anyone. And it's just going to take them getting used to another set of voices, is all. But they're going to miss us for about the first ball game.
And then after that, yesterday's news.
Who were those guys, anyway?
And Rich, you're heading on to college, and you're going to be studying what again? Why don't you tell?
Meteorology.
Great. National Weather Service potential employee then, maybe possibly.
Hopefully,
Rich?
down the road.
They'll never hire him. He'll be back here at WGEN.
You have about 30 seconds.
I think we need to.
30.
We're live on the air here, by the way.
Okay.
Capable hands.
Mariah Carey is going
about 20
out.
seconds. About 20 seconds.
She's fading, and I have no commercial potted up here, Rich.
Would you like me to tack one in?
No. You just leave things alone. I can handle things here. I'm fouling up their microphone.
Well, I like to help out whenever I can, Rick.
That's Mariah Carey, WGEN. And it's called Hero. Stay tuned to WGEN. We've got a farm break coming your way. When's that farm break coming our way, Rich? That's not for a long time yet, 8:45. Can they stay
about
tuned
an hour
that long?
45 minutes. Got them on the edge of their chairs.
We are going to check in and find out all about those early morning hogs at the Chicago Atkinson Livestock Market here on WGEN. Currently 58 degrees and clear skies. Stay tuned.
We do have a phone call. At birth, good one remains free on $10,000 bond.
On behalf of the JCTV crew, I'd like to thank Rich Kenny and Rick Pierce for taking time out of their early morning schedule to do some behind-the-scenes taping. And we'd also like to wish Rich Kenny the best in his endeavors as he starts college at Western Illinois to pursue a career in meteorology. We'll miss you, Rich, and best of luck. Thank you.
She is hospitalized at Trinity Medical Center in Moline. Rock Island County Sheriff's officials say they are seeking a white male.
Hi, this is Melanie Rice from JCTV, and I'm here with Mitch Fickling, and he's going to talk about the new project that he headed up with the Geneseo JCs. Mitch, tell us about the project that you headed.
Well, back in March, we decided that Geneseo was in need of a sand volleyball court. I guess the last one was over by the community center and was destroyed when growth expanded over that direction. So I contacted Steve Durian, and we decided on a good location. Decided the old athletic field here was probably the best. And after that, I contacted Steve Emerson. He helped dig the hole. Edward Ready Mix hauled the sand in for us, and we spent last Saturday putting in the poles and leveling the sand.
Okay, and with the JCs, how much of it did the JCs do?
The JCs did all the hard labor as far as leveling it, pouring the saccharine, putting in the standards, and putting the lines and the poles in. So we've contributed the money towards the sand and the standards and the labor for putting it in, except for digging the hole and hauling the sand.
Okay, how much about did this project cost?
By the time we get all done, it'll be about a $900 project.
And that's great. What a nice donation to the community.
Yeah.
Now, if other communities people would like to use this, how are they going to utilize the sand volleyball court?
Well, for right now, I think we'd like them to contact the JC office, and hopefully we'll be putting together a fall league starting in the next month or so.
Okay, great. Well, is there anything else that you want to add about the court?
No, I'm glad to see there's people using it already.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. And this is Melanie Rice with Mitch Fickling, and I'm from JCTV.
On Monday nights at 7 o'clock on Channel 4, we're watching JCTV. JCTV. Go Green Machine! Go Green Machine! Go Green Machine! Go Green Machine!
Hi, I'm Melanie Rice, and here in the studio with me I have Rich McClyman, and we're going to talk about Christmas in April. Now, Rich, I've sort of heard about this a little bit, and I don't really know what it is. What is Christmas in April?
Christmas in April is a national organization who has been started as a volunteer program throughout the country to rehabilitate and refurbish homes for the elderly low-income who do own their own homes.
Okay, and you mentioned this is a national organization. What sort of national impact does this have?
The program is nationwide, and throughout 1994 there was about 4,000 homes that have been renovated in a variety of communities throughout the country using about 125,000 volunteers.
Wow.
So that it is a program that is really starting to gain some momentum and really doing some good in the country.
And we're going to do it here.
We are planning on doing it here. Our work date is going to be April 22nd of 1995, so we're just in the organizational process right now.
Okay. Is Christmas in April affiliated with any church or religion?
There is no church or organization or religious affiliation. It is a volunteer group of just people from out the community who have an interest in their community.
Okay. How are the homeowners selected for this?
Homeowners are selected through a selection process. There is an application that can be obtained from our committee, and out of those applications we will pick out some homes that we feel that we can realistically renovate in a day's time, and also look at the need of the homeowner.
Okay, what sort of needs are those?
What we'll be doing is we're not going to do major reconstruction of the home. We'll be doing things like painting, putting in new windows perhaps, doing some yard work, inside, outside painting, replacing cabinets, this type of minor redoing to the house.
Well, often small things make big differences, so.
We hope so.
Yeah, okay. When will this begin? You mentioned April 21st?
April 22nd is going to be April 22nd of 1995. It'll be a Saturday, and the work will be done on that day, all on that day. So we will have to have a lot of volunteers. We're hoping to have, 100, 150, 200 volunteers all show up at these housing sites on that day and do the work in one day.
Okay, what are you doing prior to the date, April 22nd?
We have a 17-member board who is now in the organizational process. We have had to apply for our tax-free status and just kind of get ourselves going, as it's the first time we've done it here in town. We're not exactly sure everything that we have to be doing so far. Also, we're into planning our fundraising, because we do have a budget of approximately $7,000 for this first year, and that will be to buy the materials that we need and just get ourselves going for the first year.
Okay, how many meetings have you guys had?
I think we've had probably about a half a dozen meetings so far.
So this is really getting going, I mean organized.
Yes, we have ourselves pretty well organized at the present time, and we are moving along very well, I believe.
Great. How many homes are you going to renovate?
At this point, we have plans for picking 2 homes in it's not in just the Geneseo city limits, but we're going to the Geneseo school district.
Okay, and that covers a lot of area.
Yeah, it covers quite a bit of area, so the homes could come from outside the Geneseo city limits. But we do hope to do 2 homes for our first year.
And that $7,000 will cover both of them?
We'll cover both of them, right.
Okay.
That's our total budget for this year. We will be asking for a lot of volunteers and also donations, financial donations and material donations to be used on the houses on that day.
As far as volunteers and money and donations, etc., you know, what kinds of things can the community be looking for in the paper or?
When we get closer to our date, we will have a lot of notices in the paper as to the date, what the homes are that have been selected, and it'll give names and phone numbers where people can call and volunteer or call up with a donation.
Okay, and you'll be doing some fundraising also then?
We will be doing fundraising constantly between now and the time we reach $7,000.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to add about the program?
I think the only thing is it's real exciting to look at this program when it gets started and see that we can really, the people of the community, make a real impact on our own community and working just for ourselves. The money that we do raise will go right here in the Geneseo area.
And oftentimes that doesn't happen when you donate money. It doesn't go right in your community.
Right to our area. So, and I think also we'll be able to see exactly what happens with that donation of time and money.
Well, and that's exciting too, to know that you made a difference.
Yes, that's what our hope is.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Rich, and I'm Melanie Rice from JCTV.
Hello, this is Keith Kennett with JCTV. Well, as you can see behind me, workers are putting the finishing touches here on the new playground equipment at Thomas Gorman Playground at the city park here in Geneseo. Today it's a kind of cloudy, cool day while we're taping this for JCTV, but pretty soon I have a feeling things will be heating up here at the playground once the kids in the area get a chance to get on this new equipment. So come on out to City Park. The park board assures me that by the time you're viewing this tape, the new playground should be up and operational. For JCTV, this is Keith Kennett.
Okay, we're here on the 9th green. We've just completed the annual Joyce Lohman Memorial Tournament to benefit the Northwest Henry County chapter of the American Cancer Society. I'm Howard Beck, and I'm here with Chuck Lagaitis, and we're co-chairman of the golf tournament. Chuck, how do you think it went this year?
I think it went very well. We had 36 golfers participate in the tournament this year, and they helped us raise around $2,000 to benefit the Northwest Henry County chapter of the American Cancer Society this year.
What's that money used for, Chuck?
Money's used for a variety of things. Research is just one of them. There's a number of programs. One is that people who drive cancer patients to their chemotherapy and radiation treatments get compensated for mileage. The chapter provides things like hospital beds and walkers for cancer patients. They help cancer patients get prosthetic devices such as women who've had mastectomies. They help them get reconstructed
The important thing is that the majority of the money stays right here in the area too, isn't it, Chuck?
The majority of the money stays here, and it benefits local people for the most part.
Okay.
People also even get help with their medications, financial help with their medications.
Okay, do you have the names of the winners for us here?
Names of the winners, we had one winning team was sponsored by Geneseo Pork. Another winning team was sponsored by the Geneseo JCs.
Glad to hear that.
Right. And the third winning team, I have to look that one up.
I think it was Co-op, wasn't it?
That was sponsored by Co-op Gas and Oil.
And where do they go on to from here?
The state tournament is held at Indian Lakes Resort in Bloomingdale, Illinois on September the 12th.
Okay, great. The tournament's usually held the first Saturday in August. So mark it on your calendar and hope to see more teams out here next year. For JCTV, I'm Howard Beck.
Hi, I'm Renee Moore.
And Angela Himmelman.
And we're co-chairman of the Ride for a Cure. It's a bike ride that the JCs are sponsoring, benefiting the American Diabetes Association. Angela, we found out as we were doing this research that diabetes affects 1 in 20 Americans, and the funds that we raise with this bike-a-thon is going for research and summer programs such as Camp Granada, which is a summer camp for children with diabetes. Seems like we got a pretty good turnout today, doesn't it, Angela?
Oh, sure. We got a lot of donations already, so.
Quite a few donations. All the prizes for the kids were donated by local businesses, but this is open for anyone, children through adult. We do have adult prizes also, and treats for them as they're riding and drinks and everything. So if you've supported a child or someone that is participating in the ride, or if you yourself are riding, we want to tell you again thank you, and thank you for all the businesses that gave us the donations.
Thanks a lot.
A delegation from Shinto, Japan was in Geneseo recently. Mayor Tom Gorman greeted the mayor of Shinto and welcomed their group to Geneseo. Several years ago, Clyde Johnson had hosted an exchange student from the Shinto village through the Thanksgiving Fellowship program. As he continued communication with the student, an idea for a program developed. The program was called Love Through Understanding. It was designed to promote cultural exchange between the two communities. Over the next several years, students between the two villages have visited each other and lived in the homes of the families of each community. Recently, the mayor and village council from Shinto spent several days visiting various points of interest in Geneseo.
We're a licensed child care facility that provides daycare for children while their parents are at work or at school or out into the public, maybe doing some public service work, something like that. We care for 154 children on a daily basis, and we're funded by parents' fees and by federal and state monies.
ですね、ここはですね、デイケアセンター、子どもたちのためのデイケアセンターでございまして、公の機関として、公共の機関として現在使われておりますけれども、大体ですね、学校に行ったりさもなくば就業しているその両親のために子どもを預かるわけですね。
For our work, there's 8.
20.
You guys say hi?
Yeah.
You guys want to play Shy now?
What is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys say hi? Say hi, Kenzie? No, you mean Shy. Mike will say hi. Tell him hi. How old are you? 2, 2.5.
Oh,
Some of them are 3. Those guys over there are hiding. And then we'll go to Meg's room. She's waiting.
Okay.
We're honored to be here with the mayor of Shinto, Japan. He and his council have been in Geneseo for the last couple of days visiting. We're also here with his interpreter. What are your impressions of Geneseo so far?
ジェネシオの印象はいかがでございますか？
素晴らしい街だって。
Well, he says just a wonderful city.
What is the biggest impression, maybe a difference, or the most striking thing that you'll remember about Geneseo from your visit?
ジェネシオのね、ご訪問で一番素晴らしいと言っても一番なんかこの、胸に薄いようなね、そういう風な印象というのはどうなんでしょうか。
やはり人間性がなんか一番ね親しみがあって、やっぱり一番いいような感じがしますね。
Well, the people here in Geneseo seems to be very wonderful, especially about personality and humanities. They are so kind, so generous, and he is also very impressed about these people's attitudes.
Well, thank you very much. We're very honored that you're here to visit us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you tired of the hassle of trying to find your golf ball? The embarrassment and the expense. Introducing the Ball Finder 3000. The Ball Finder 3000 is available at finer golf stores and pro shops and is also coming soon on the JCTV shopping network. The Ball Finder 3000 easily mounts on a standard golf cart. This electronic imaging system uses the latest in computer technology along with the Department of Defense Global Positioning Satellite Network. The Ball Finder 3000 quickly and easily locates your golf ball within 3 inches anywhere on the planet Earth. Ball Finder 3000, 1995.
Geneseo and Henry County and your Geneseo JCs, welcome to the circus for this afternoon's performance. I'm excited about it. Kids, I have a magical whistle right here, and when I blow this whistle, things are going to happen. So I've got a little introduction here, so get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the new Aztec Amusement edition of America's largest wild animal circus. Under the biggest big top on earth, the Carson and Barnes Circus.
Hi, this is TV6's Dan Pearson. It's Monday night, time for Monday Night Football, right? That's where you're sadly mistaken. I'll be watching JCTV.
In November, the school district will be asking the taxpayers to support an $11.3 million bond referendum to fund renovations of existing schools and to build a new middle school for grades 6, 7, and 8. This evening, we're going to provide you with some more information on this issue to help you make a decision on this important referendum. Joining me this evening is Dr. Harold Ford, Superintendent of Schools, and Bill Phillips, Architect for the school district. Thank you both for agreeing to be with us this evening.
Thank you for letting us be here. Thank you.
Well, let's get right down to it here. We've got some questions that we'd like to throw at you and to establish some of the rationale for the changes that are being proposed. First of all, if the proposed middle school costs $6.8 million and the total referendum is $11.3 million, why do all of the other projects at the same time?
Well, really what we're trying to do from the board viewpoint was to prevent the board from having to come back and do this again in the near future. We were looking to put these two bond referendums together so that the rate would be the best rate possible and the pricing of the construction would be the best rate possible.
And the Board of Education viewed all of the alternatives for the buildings, the shortage of space in the elementary schools, the shortage of space in the small class size in the junior high school, and the shortage of space and poor circulation at the high school. None of the alternatives, except the one that's being presented to the voters, presented a long-term solution.
We were trying to repair these old buildings and at the same time add a new building that would allow for needed expansion, and that will work unless this community grows an awful lot in the next few years.
Okay. A major part of this, of course, is the middle school project, and recognizing the fact that the existing junior high is an old building and it has a lot of stairs, which causes problems. Isn't the basic structure itself sound, and wouldn't just some additional renovation cause that building to be usable for a number of years yet?
Well, there's no doubt that the existing junior high school is a sound building. A new federal law, the Americans with Disabilities Act, however, requires that all programs, services, and activities offered in the district be accessible. Requirements in the Americans with Disabilities Act. We prepared many alternatives for consideration by the Board of Education, and these alternatives range from building a small addition on the west side of the building, basically an elevator and a classroom, to building a larger two-story addition on the east side of the building. These alternatives ranged in cost from $1.7 to $2.8 million. They were really short-term solutions that would have left the district vulnerable to people still filing suit under the Americans with Disabilities Act. In addition to the life safety work, well, I should say we also surveyed the entire building for life safety items. And rooms. There's no room in the building for any future changes, really. It's full, and they're very short on PE space. As you know, the small site is not well suited for exterior PE activities. There's a certain amount of danger with some of those activities, just playing ball there on the corner, and the loading of students at the transfer point at the school and the streets every day. So those are some of the issues, but the accessibility is one of the very difficult things.
Okay. One thing that's mentioned frequently is the crowded classrooms. enrollment levels right now are at about a 5 or 6 year high, but I believe they're still less than they were even in the late 70s, even after consolidating with Atkinson. How come the classrooms are so crowded right now?
Well, there are a number of reasons, and they include state regulations, federal regulations, and local needs. We've added in the last few years all-day kindergarten, which over 90% of our parents prefer. Well, it took extra rooms. We've had 3 to 5 year old program through the state. It's a very good program, but it takes more rooms. We've had more special education. We've had to add social workers. And as Bill mentioned, we've talked about computer labs that are in each of the buildings. Those take up a lot of space. And that's happening at each level with those additions. Plus, at the high school, things are different now. Howard, you know how it was when we went to school. Well, maybe I should separate that. It was a lot longer since I went to school, but there are more classes required to go out in the world ready to go. And our students at the high school are taking 1.4 more classes than they were taking just 10 years ago. That's like adding 300 students to the school. So those are some of the things that's happened.
Okay, well, and that makes a lot of sense. It's obvious that things are being utilized. Okay, bottom line, as a taxpayer, as a homeowner in the school district, this is a question that a lot of people are really wanting to know. What's a referendum going to cost the average homeowner?
Well, first of all, the average homeowner in our district has a house that's worth about $58,500. Where you get taxed is going to depend on your assessed valuation. Remember, assessed valuation is 1/3 of the supposed market value. But if we take that average taxpayer I just talked about, when we compare the 30-cent average we've had for bonds with the 70-cent rate that we're going to have in the new one, well, the 70-cent rate is going to cost that taxpayer about $136 a year. But if you say, what's the actual increase? The increase is only about $78 a year. So it's about 21 cents a day for the average taxpayer. Each of you are going to have to look at your own tax bill and multiply for your taxes to find out what it's going to cost you.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a little bit easier pill to swallow than $11.3 million anyway. So
right. And I should mention that that's what we're trying to go out over a 20-year period. Because we think we can get good rates on the interest rates and yet not make the average taxpayer pay a huge amount of money. And obviously if the assessed valuation goes up with new construction, that sort of thing, then over the next 20 years, your rate would drop slightly. Mm-hmm. But most of us don't want to wait for that to happen. So we're telling you what it would cost you today.
Right. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to review some of the actual plans and drawings that the bill has put together that shows the actual layout of the new middle school and some of the changes that will be taking place at the high school. A significant portion of the referendum involves remodeling and several new additions at the high school. What exactly are you proposing for the high school?
Well, we've been working on this for about a year with the board and the administration and teachers, talking about what are the shortcomings of the current high school and what do we need to do about it. Those ideas were all kind of put together and then were handed over to Bill Phillips and said, Bill, what can you do for us? And with that, I think we'll let Bill show you what he did for us.
That'd be fine. Thank you. Just to orient everyone, this is the courtyard at the high school. The football field is over here. This is the existing east side of the building. The plan envisions a new north-south corridor to improve the circulation, improves a new computer room, classrooms on the east side with a multi-purpose shop, proposes remodeling of the science areas, of this science area, the addition of a new science room, new ag room, remodeling of the existing science rooms, and very importantly, the expansion of the instrumental music program with uniform storage and other facilities, and the expansion of a PE station weight room in this area. The plan is arranged for after-school hour use and summertime use, and this basically covers the renovations and additions in this area. A small girls' locker room addition is planned for adjacent to the existing girls' locker room. A small expansion of the wrestling area to free up some classroom space on the second floor is planned, and a small remodeling of the administration area for changes needed because of changing student services, social workers, the nurse area is also proposed at the high school.
Okay. One thing that is a very large part of the referendum, obviously, is a new middle school. And this middle school concept is something that is probably pretty foreign to a lot of us that are not in education. Dr. Ford, what is the importance and the value? Why is this such a critical thing for us?
Well, it's because of the change in children. And when we were growing up, the aging process was a little slower. And today, kids through maybe 5th grade are children. By the time they're 9th graders, they're young adults. So what we were trying to look at is saying, let's take these 6th, 7th, and 8th graders where this transition is truly occurring and put them together in one building. Together, but separate. So what we've done here is to have Mr. Phillips and administration talk to teachers, to parents, students, cooks, counselors, everyone associated with the school, and said, what do you think you're going to need in this new middle school? And with that, Mr. Phillips has now put together a plan, and again, we'll let him explain his new plan.
Very good. Well, this plan is a direct result of those discussions and interviews and questionnaires and surveys that we took. Basically, the plan is organized into a 6th grade hallway and 6th grade classroom area, a 7th grade hallway and 7th grade classroom area, and an 8th grade hallway and 8th grade classroom area. Noisy functions such as the gyms, the cafeteria, the multi-purpose, choral, and instrumental music are located at this end of the building. At the other end of the building, quiet activities such as large group room, computer labs, and library are located. The building circulation is set up so that students coming in the morning, if they're an 8th grader, can be shuffled off to the gym. If they're a 7th grader, to the cafeteria, or a 6th grader to the multi-purpose room, allowing easy access and less mingling between the grades into their own specific wings. Some of the key points are computer labs and very straightforward circulation leading to an efficient area. The public entrance on the front of the building would lead right to the principal secretary area, counseling area. Common areas such as the art room and a PE classroom and another art room are located right off the main hallway to enhance the expression of the fine arts. Courtyards are included in the center of the building, mainly because nearly all of the students and nearly all the teachers wanted rooms that had outside windows, and this is a very efficient way to do it. I think in a broad overview, that is the plan that everybody's requested and we've developed.
Okay, and it's certainly a much more up-to-date plan than what the students are in today. Dr. Ford, I guess the important thing is if people have questions, and there are going to certainly be many more questions, have them come to the unit office and ask.
Please, we'd like to tell you, answer your questions. We hope you'll come to some of the information meetings we're going to have. And we really appreciate JCTV giving us a chance to appear here and tonight and talk about what we're doing. We think this will help get the message out. Please ask if you have questions. We want you as the public to feel free to ask any question you want about our building referendum.
Okay. Thank you very much. For JCTV, this is Howard Beck.
Okay, last month, as you may or may not remember, we had a prize that we were going to give away. We had a contest. Richard Ruzak was the winner, and we'd like to show you how we presented him with the gift. official mug here of JCTV with a little candy in it.
Thank you very much.
A happy smiley face balloon.
Fine, thank you.
And the official Diet Cola of JCTV.
Oh, that's pretty good. Thank
All right, you're welcome. So you watch, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying very much.
Good, good. Well, we're glad. Congratulations.
Hope you keep going.
We will.
Good.
We will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Willis Andel with JCTV, and I'm here at the Geneseo Public Library. And with me today is the Library Director, Nancy Bykema, along with Sue Gray and Don Beck. The reason we're here is to discuss the upcoming library referendum. And why don't we just get right to the point? What is the referendum for, Sue?
That's a good question. With the upcoming school bond issue, there could be some confusion. Actually, we are outgrowing our current facilities at the library, but that's not the issue of this referendum. What we're trying to do with this is to address operating expenses so that we can maintain current services. Over the last years, we have added services including the availability of personal computers, fax, microfiche, copiers. Of course, the most basic measure of service in a library is going to be circulation. Circulation is up 14% in just the last 4 years here at our library. And I think something that's real important that we are able to offer to patrons is the fact that we can search and borrow from collections really throughout the country as a result of our association with QuadLink. Now, with the expansion of online services, we are going to be able to increase our borrowing capabilities even more in the future, but of course that's more expensive, and I guess that's part of the reason we are looking forward in this referendum to future growth as well as our current needs.
Okay, and I guess what will the referendum be asking of us?
At this time, we are assessing 15 cents per $100 assessed valuation. Now, this is a level that was set by the Illinois legislature back in 1970 as the maximum amount that can be levied without a referendum. We have been levying at this amount for over 20 years, and yet at the same time, in recent years, just to meet our operating expenses, we have had to go into interest from our endowment fund just to meet these expenses. What we're asking for now is an additional 10 cents, which would take us to 25 cents per $100 assessed valuation. Although that would just be a new cap for us. That's not where we intend to levy at this time. What this would mean to taxpayers for an average Geneseo district property at $60,000 assessed at $20,000, the current tax would be approximately $30 for the library. If the maximum increase were levied against that property, it would be an additional $20. Although remember, it's not our intention to go to that maximum immediately. That's something that we're setting aside for future growth.
Okay, thank you, Sue. Don, could you tell us why the tax increase is necessary?
Well, we've been operating in need of that tax increase for several years. We've been putting it off and attempting to get by, and as Sue mentioned, we've been using up the interest on our endowment fund to make our annual operating budget. The cost of everything is going up, as we all know. Our book budget has not increased in the last 5 years, and yet the costs of books have gone up, which means that we're buying fewer books. And all of the board members are taxpayers in this district, and we don't want to raise taxes. But as Sue pointed out, this is a small amount to meet our operating costs and to provide continue to provide the quality service that we've been the patrons have been accustomed to. We have a need for some additional staffing hours. Our dedicated staff is very hard pressed to do all of the things that are required of them as the budget now allows.
Okay, thank you, Don. I know the services have changed a lot since I was in high school or in college. I know you mentioned the Quad Link. Nancy, could you explain exactly what that is?
Sure. The QuadLink library system, which we are a member of, provides access to materials from 23 member libraries around the Quad City metropolitan area, and it includes both public libraries, academic libraries, and technical industry libraries, such as the Deere and Company Library, Augustana College, Blackhawk College, St. Ambrose College in the Quad City area, the larger public libraries. And what we are very happy to be able to provide to our patrons is not only access to the 40,000 pieces of material within this building, but the 1.8 million pieces of material that is on the QuadLink database. And what we can do then is reserve those materials for patrons. They can go and pick them up directly from those libraries if they wish, or we can have those materials delivered right here to the Geneseo Library, and we have 4-day-a-week van delivery from those area libraries to us, so we can get the materials usually within a 2 or 3 day time period for them.
Great. Do I also understand that there is delivery to homebound residents?
That's true. Right now the staff is delivering materials to residents that are confined to their homes. We also do weekly deliveries to Extended Care, Good Samaritan, and Hillcrest Home here in the Geneseo area.
Well, great. I want to thank you for your time. If you have more questions or as far as what is available at the library, they do have a little pamphlet you can pick up that will give you more information as far as what is available. And this has been Willis Andel with JCTV from the Geneseo Public Library.
We're here at Uncle Bill's Pizza in the Aldi's parking lot with Bill Schilling, the owner. Bill, we've had a lot of people ask us they would like to watch JCTV, but they may not have cable. And where can they go to watch it on Monday nights?
Howard, I've got it on Monday nights up here at Old Uncle Bill's. So if anybody doesn't have cable, you're more than welcome to come up here and watch it. 7 o'clock Monday nights. We'll be here.
Okay, there it is, your official JCTV headquarters, Uncle Bill's, Monday nights at 7. The Central Theater has been a fixture in downtown Geneseo for as long as most of us can remember, and recently it's temporarily closed for a short period of time, hopefully. We thought this would be a good opportunity to uncover some of the history of the Central Theater and talk about how long it's been in Geneseo. And joining us this evening are John and Dorothy Greenwood. And John, I think you've got a pretty concise history of what all has happened there at the theater, and maybe you can fill us in.
Well, the theater. I don't go back to the very beginning, but let's just start out with this. First of all, speaking of entertainment, I'm going clear back to about 1905 when they had Chautauqua in Geneseo, and I wasn't around when it started, but that was entertainment that they had then in Geneseo. Then it was about, don't hold me exactly to these figures, but it was about 1908 when the Methodist Church, or what was the Methodist Church, changed into the Wigwam, which is today the VFW Hall. And the old Wigwam was where they had the movies in the wintertime. It cost 5 cents for children and 10 cents for adults. Now, in addition to the Wigwam, they also had what was known as the Air Dome. Now, the Air Dome, for people that are in my age category, can remember, it was where the hotel is, across the alley, what is now a parking lot. First there was Mr. McBroom's house, then next door was Doc Everett, the dentist, then there was an empty lot, then down on the corner at 2nd and Center Street was Herb Voss's apartments. Now that empty lot, you'd walk into that empty lot and go back to the north. They had benches cut out of logs, flat benches with no backs, and you'd sit on there. The screen was to the north with a canopy built over it a little bit. It was just a big white painted screen, and that was the Air Dome. Now that's where you'd go for movies in the summertime. And incidentally, Herb Harrington Herb Harrington used to sell popcorn up there at the Air Dome. Herb was a photographer, but he had a peanut stand downtown. I'm not just sure where it was. I think it was right between the next to the theater there, next to Walter's building and Mabel Brown. There used to be a shoe shine parlor in there where Donk Nicewinter used to shine shoes. And that originally, I think that's where Herbert had his peanut popcorn stand. Well, anyway, let's go back, way back. Back in those early days, Mrs. Mabel Sand, that's Mrs. Perry Sand, used to play the piano in the theater where it stands right now. She was there for over 30 years. Later, when it was changed over to the new Geneseo Theater, on Saturday night they would have an orchestra down there in the pit to play the music during the movie. And Mrs. Sand was joined by her husband, Perry. He played the cornet. Gus Miller played the trombone. Ernest Miller was on the clarinet. Freddie Mossengard, the tailor, played the drums. And also Harry Wiedenhoff and Lila Skinner played in the orchestra. And on Saturday afternoon, I would sit in the front row and watch. They used to have serials, you know, that would be continued every week. And I'd watch the serials and the cowboy pictures. And years later, I hate to admit this, but Mrs. Sand told me that she says, I can remember you. She said, you used to sit in the front row and you'd get so excited at those movies. She said, you'd be kicking. And she used to kick me in the back when I was sitting there playing the piano. Well, that's what Mrs. Sand told me. Anyway, the new Geneseo Theater opened in July of 1924. Now, the building was owned by Frank DeLander, and the movie business was owned by Jack Green. Jack Green used to be on what they called in those days the RKO vaudeville circuit, and he was a juggler, and Jack was a good juggler. And down at the theater, Jack had pictures of people like, well, for example, W.C. Fields, run on Saturday and Sunday, and then either on Wednesday or Thursday or sometime during the week, they would have a double feature. This is all of these shows in 1 week. We're lucky to run one show for a week or 2 weeks today. Well, anyway, the first talkies came to Geneseo. Now, I'm just kidding when I say it, when I call it talkies, but that's what they called it then. They called it talkies. In 1929, that was Al Jolson and the Jazz Singer. Now, that was the first sound movie that came out. But here, it was called Vitaphone. Vitaphone was simply a record that they play up on the booth and they try and synchronize the record with the movie. And it didn't always come out right on the screen. I mean, sometimes, you know, the mouth would be open and they'd already sung and so forth. But anyway, that's the way it started out. Then, when was it? That was in 1929. The Jazz Singer came out in 1927. Small theaters like Geneseo took a little while to get changed over to the equipment. So in 1929, and then of course later on, everything went into sound on film. You're my friend, aren't you? Huh? You're my friend, huh? Yeah. Got a little itch, huh?
Can you give us any clue as to what the future holds?
If you remember the ad that we were running Forrest Gump, which I think is one of the finest pictures we've ever run, and the first night we had 5 breakdowns in the first half hour. Now, part of the reason for that was, you'll have to understand, Forrest Gump was an exceptionally long picture, and even though we're equipped to run up there, we can run on those reels we have. Those reels stand 5 feet tall. The equipment we have is custom equipment, because this is designed, when we first went into it was all designed as what you might call a ma and pa kettle operation. It was designed so that you could get everything ready upstairs, go downstairs, work on the concession stands while your wife or partner, whoever, sold the tickets. Well, that's fine. That's great, except if you recall, we like to show our slides before the movie every night. And I guess that's the reason we went into it, because we've been very fortunate, we've been very lucky, we've had good health and been able to make good connections. We've been able to travel. We've been in 34 countries around the world, and we've accumulated over 30,000 slides. Well, out of those foreign trips, and even a lot of the local, before the show every night, we like to show those slides. Now, I'll just say to you what I always tell other people. I says, you know, this is wonderful. People pay to get into the movie, and they sit down, and I start my slides. Well, you know they're not going to get up and walk out because they paid to get in to see the movie. I've got a captive audience. So that's what we've been doing. We love it, and majority of people, I think, enjoy it. So it's been an outlet for us for entertainment, and that's what we like. So the ad originally said, Central Theater temporarily closed for repairs to the projector, the projectionist, and the cashier. And unfortunately, this is the truth. The projector broke down. We've got some very good friends from down at the cinemas that are helping us getting it repaired. The projectionist, meaning me, I'm on the mend. We've got some good doctors and specialists, and I've been in and out of the hospital. I think they're finding some of the repairs. Dorothy is also under specialist treatment. We're at the halfway mark. We don't know, but we think that's going to be, we hope we can get that corrected. So if we can get all three of us back in running order again, we would like to get open again, and then, well, what's going to happen, I don't know, but our goal is to get back to the theater, get it open, and then make plans for the future somehow that theater will continue after we're unable to stay with it. I hope that answers part of your question.
Well, I think it does, and again, I'd like to thank you for being with us and filling us in on the history of the theater, and again, thanking you for taking on this community service, which is truly what it has been for the last 18 years. For JCTV, this is Howard Beck.
Hi, this is Julia Buzzard with JCTV, and we're outside Geneseo High School, and I'm going to talk with a few of the members of their marching band. This is their last home football game of the season, and we're just going to have a little interview. First of all, if you'd all just tell me who you are and what you do in the band.
Carrie Birmingham and color guard.
Jameson Weiser, drumline.
Lyle Burgoon, winds, baritones.
Great, and I understand you guys are section leaders. Do you have a little extra responsibility, or could you tell me exactly what that means?
Well, I think we take most of the responsibility for what the sections do, as far if we get in trouble or.
So if somebody messes up,
yeah,
you've got it.
It's our fault.
Okay, great. Approximately how much time do you guys spend preparing and practicing for your time with the band, either here at school or additional time at home? We'll start with the band members.
It's usually about an hour a day, 5 days a week, and then we have a week before in the summer in which we practice.
And is that all day, every day in the summer?
All day, every day for a week.
And is that about the same with the color guard?
For the color guard, we have an extra week before the actual band starts practice, and then every week, besides the daily band practices, we have an hour and a half with our guard instructor, and then an hour another day during the week for practice.
So you guys are really committed. Once you say this is it, and that's a lot of time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Could you just describe for somebody that maybe hasn't seen the band, what is it that the color guard does?
Well, the color guard has all the visual effects. We have flags and guns and hoops or whatever, and we provide the background for the music. So.
Okay. A little something extra to watch then while the band's doing their thing too.
Right.
Great. Okay. Now, I understand you have a complete marching show tonight, and then you go on to a competition tomorrow, is that correct?
Right.
How does the show differ any for a competition than it would, say, for a halftime show, or do you change your show for football games?
I think for the competitions we try a little harder and make it look a little better.
A little more serious, perhaps, or just, okay. I think I'll close with this. If each of you could tell me what the best part of the marching band, and then again maybe what's the worst or your least favorite part.
Well, for me, the best part is hearing a cheer, and the worst part is the pouring down rain.
For marching band, I'd say it would be being with the drum line. It's kind of like a little family, and we're just together. Bad part, well, there really isn't much of a bad part, maybe. Just strenuous practices.
I think the good part is getting into the football games for free and everything like that. And the bad parts would be not being able to find a parking space when you need one.
But you get to come early, so does that help?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
Okay. One more question I thought of. The football team gets a lot of attention this time of year, and rightfully so. Do you guys ever feel a little overshadowed, or that you want to say, hey, we work hard too? Or is it just you feel like doing your part to support the team? Any comments on that?
Well, sometimes I know that a lot of the people in band feel like we're overshadowed because Geneseo is such a big football town, but then when we show up to a competition and we have all these thousands of people waiting to just see us, it's really a good feeling, and it makes up for all of it.
Well, we're getting close to time for another, what has become a Christmas tradition in Geneseo, and that's the Victorian Walk. And we'd like to share some information about this year's walk with you. We'll talk about some of the new things that we're going to try to do, and just refresh your memory on what the Victorian Walk is. I'm here today with Steve Burrell, the postmaster of the Geneseo Post Office, and with Carol Anderson, who's the chairperson of the Victorian Walk this year. Carol, what can you tell us about this year's Victorian Walk?
Well, this year's Victorian Walk is December the 9th, and it will be between 5 and 9 p.m. That is on a Friday evening. We are hoping to have close to 60 living windows, and this is where we follow strictly with the Victorian era, and people in the windows portraying some sort of activity that happened during that time with the Victorian dress. One of the most exciting things that we do in that evening time.
Okay. For the residents in town, a lot of times there's getting to be so many people that come to the Victorian Walk now that we really start to have some traffic and parking problems. The people in town, there is transportation facilities for them to take advantage of, and
yes, we have parking at St. Malachy's, and also, which is on the north end of town, and also on the south end of town at Walmart. And then there will be buses there that will bus people from Walmart and St. Malachy's to the downtown area.
Okay, so it's probably a shorter walk if you go to one of those two places and park your car and ride the bus. Mm-hmm. Something else new we're doing this year is offering the first official Victorian Walk souvenir, and it will be a commemorative mug with a special logo that's unique to this year's Victorian Walk. And this is a limited edition coffee mug with the date, and we will also have the mugs numbered. There will be 250 mugs, and it'll be a one-time production run, and there won't be any more made. These will be available at $8 a piece at the Chamber of Commerce office prior to the walk. Hopefully in mid-November they would be available. And any that are still left out of the original run of 250 will be available that night at the Victorian Walk. The logo, which I mentioned, is also the same logo we're going to use on the cancellation at the Victorian Post Office. Steve,
That's right.
Maybe you can tell us about that.
You bet, Howard. Yeah, once again this year, for our second year in a row, we're going to be doing a special pictorial cancellation of the mail. Folks who have Christmas cards that are ready to go by the night of the Victorian Walk can bring their Christmas cards in, receive a special cancellation, and all of their Christmas cards will then be delivered with that cancellation on it. It's kind of a nice, unique thing to the city of Geneseo, and something that a lot of people last year, for the first time, they were very excited about it, and I kind of anticipate a greater number this year. I think we'll get a good turnout. The pictorial cancellation, incidentally, is something, this goes out nationally in the Postal Bulletin and in stamp collecting publications, and folks send in cards and envelopes from all over the country to receive this cancellation, and they can do that up to 60 days after the date of the event. So we'll be doing that. I can show you how that will appear.
Do you have a sample of us?
Sure,
Okay.
that will appear just like that.
Okay.
And also we will be selling postcards and envelopes. If someone just wants to receive a cancellation and to have it as a collector's item, they can come in, purchase an envelope or a postcard, or bring in an envelope with a stamp on it, and we'll be glad to cancel it for them that night. This year we'll be located at 119 North State Street, which is the Mel Foster office, and we try to prepare it with some antique postal equipment that we happen to have here in the building, and we also borrow a window unit from J&S Antiques out on Interstate 80 at Manlius. So that comes in real handy. It sets the scene real well for us.
Okay, great, and it's incentive for everybody to get your Christmas cards out early. I know I need that boost.
Mail early.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Carol, I'm sure we've overlooked something in this brief overview. What have we forgotten?
Well, we might mention that on November the 20th, we will be having our Christmas tree lighting in the park, and that's when we light our big tree. Also will be our arrival of Santa Claus. We also, on the day after the Victorian Walk, December the 10th, will have an ice sculpture contest, which includes students throughout the area. And if anyone is interested in that, they can contact Mel Snook through the high school.
Okay, and those kids always do a great job. Those ice sculptures are always impressive.
They do. Very impressive.
And I hear there's rumors that Santa Claus might be coming in by helicopter. We're not sure at this point, but it's possible, so keep your eyes and ears open. So there's a lot of things going on. Geneseo is a great place at Christmas time, and we hope everybody comes downtown and takes advantage of all the activities.
Hi, I'm Deanne McCullough with JCTV, and with me this morning is Pastor Paul Olson with First Lutheran Church here in Geneseo. He also chairs the Gang Awareness Task Force. We welcome you here today, Paul. First off the bat, we'd like to kind of find out, how did you get involved with this program?
About a year ago, we had an incident in the community in which, during the homecoming time of 1993, we had some rumors and some reports of potential gang activity. Some of that gang activity was pretty deliberate, I think, to try to get people scared and to get them upset and get a lot of anxiety arising in the community. But some of it was real, because gangs have been for a long time trying to get a foothold into Geneseo. At that time, there were several of us in the community who realized that what we need to do is we need to provide some options. We need to look at some long-term kind of situations and not just deal with that one particular situation that arose. Out of that happened this Gang Awareness Task Force. A group of folks came together. We found some ways that we could work together and have since formed some good bonds and some good opportunities for the community to be aware of some of the issues that are facing us.
Okay, Paul, and Could you give us a breakdown of the people that are on that committee? Is it parents, professional people? What is it?
We have all forms, shapes, and types of persons in the community. We have parents, we have teachers, we have educators, administrators, we have single parents, we have couples, we have numbers of people, we have some youth, some young adults, all people from the community that have an interest in trying to provide a safe and comfortable kind of community in which we can continue to live.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, do you think that this is a cycle that we're going through, or what do you think is causing a lot of this?
I think that it's not a cycle. I think it's a reality, and I think we have to deal with it. I think the reality is that Geneseo is a prime target for gang activity. I think there are several reasons for that. Number one, we have a high number of competitive young persons who want to exceed. Some of them cannot exceed, some of them can't make it, and as a result they need to find other alternatives. Unfortunately, they turn to some negative alternatives such as gang activity. I think we also have an affluent community. Gangs are interested in money. That's what keeps them alive. Money, power, prestige, drugs, all of those issues are what keeps a gang alive. And as a result, this community, because it has some affluence, is a prime target for the gangs.
I think what you just touched on there, the affluent community, I think a lot of people would tend to think that that would be the least thing that they would be looking for, but in this case, we're a prime target for that area. How can people get involved, or get involved with the task force, or anything within their own community, not necessarily with the task force?
There are a couple of ways. If persons want to simply be a part of the task force, that's real easy. November 17th, 7 o'clock, Thursday night at the high school library is our next meeting. That's an option for folks. They can simply come, participate, work, do whatever level of commitment they're willing to do. That's an important part. That's a commitment that we are looking for. We need more folks that are going to make that kind of commitment. It does not have to be substantial. It can be things such as working at helping parents learn some issues that they're dealing with. It can be working at an event that we have. It can be simply passing out information and literature. That kind of thing doesn't have to be substantial or long-term kind of leadership commitment. Can be participatory. That's one way. The other way is to keep eyes and ears open. If folks were at the last gang meeting that we had with Shane Olison, one of the things that was a reality was that we had close to 200 people there, which meant that we have 400 eyes, 400 ears that are looking, sensing, seeing what's taking place in the community. If you see some activity that looks suspicious, report it. If you see something that doesn't look right, report it. If you see something that doesn't seem appropriate, report it. That's what we need. We need to have a large-scale community and area watch program. That's essential.
That's good. I did attend that meeting there about a month ago, wasn't it, on a Thursday night or whatever. And the whole study hall area was full, and it was nice to see a lot of those parents there. I just hope that there were more people that could get out there and hear about the message. Is there anything else you'd like to add this morning, Pastor Olson?
We have done several things that I think are important to see the kind of history that we've done just in a year. We've had 3 large-scale community meetings. We have touched over 850 people with a message about gangs in the community. We have developed a tutoring center in the community called the Learning Center, which meets in Geneseo on Tuesday, in Atkinson on Wednesday, and it provides a tutoring setting for young children. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is to provide a place where self-respect and self-image can be developed. That's one of the things that gangs feed on. They feed on negative self-image. They feed on lack of self-respect. And that's why a gang is so critical for some of these young persons, because they're looking for that they can't get in any other setting. What we're trying to do then is to provide a way for these young people in elementary age to gain that self-respect so that they won't look for a gang to give them the image that they're trying to pursue.
I don't know if I'd want to go back in time and be growing up right now during this time period, but I know that a lot of my friends that live in the Chicago area serve as Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or some kind of programs like that where they work with kids. And you know, that's something always that people can get involved with too. But do you have anything else besides that, Pastor Olson?
Well, there are those kind of programs that are available. Youth Service Bureau in Henry County has that kind of a program. It's called a PAL program, and if people have an interest in working in that area, they're certainly welcome to do that. I just hope that people will take seriously the issues that we're facing as a community. We cannot, as Shane Olison reminded us, keep blinders on. We have a wonderful community. It's a great place to live. It's a wonderful place to raise a family. But we can't keep our blinders on. We have got to make sure that we are real about what the issues are that are facing us. And gangs are real, and they would like to be a part of this community. We have got to do something corporately and as a community to help prevent that from happening.
Okay, and if they have any questions, is there anyone that they can contact by phone here in the area?
Call me. Just call me. 944-3196 is my office, and you can find my phone number at home in the phone book, and I'm willing to do whatever I can. I'll be happy to speak. We can have speakers come in. If community groups have an interest in having somebody, we'll make sure that we get somebody over there.
Well, thank you, Pastor Olson. It's definitely something to be concerned about here in the community, and that's all we have for this segment of JCTV on gang awareness.
It's 7 p.m. here at WGEN in Geneseo, and time now for local news.
Rich, if it's 7 o'clock, it means it's time for JCTV on Monday on Full Circle Communications Channel 4.
Well, you're absolutely right, Rick. We better head home so we don't miss a minute of it.
Let's put on automatic pilot and get out of here.
Hi, I'm Melanie Rice, and I'm here with JCTV here at the high school with Carrie Garlick and Sarah Rutledge. We're going to talk about the Hunger Drive here at the high school. Girls, I understand this is the first year for this. You want to tell me a little bit about it?
Well, what it is, it's stemmed out of the Quad Cities. It's named the Student Hunger Drive. That's what this is, their logo right here on these buttons. And it's just like 3 or 4 housewives that got together one day and decided that they wanted to start like a metro area hunger drive, and they do like competitions between the area schools, and it started in, I think it was 1982.
Okay.
They've been doing it since then, and they offer prizes for like the most creative way you bring foods in, and they offer prizes for like if you have 3 pounds per student in your school, you get $500 and just various prizes the last 6 weeks.
How's it been going here at the high school?
It's been going pretty good. We've almost reached our first goal of 6 pounds per student, and most people are being really involved. One student brought in 391 cans, Tim Scott, in one day.
Oh my gosh.
So
you have a lot of involved students that are getting into this. Great. Why are you guys doing this?
I really don't know why. We put with homecoming and everything, it was so early into the year, the student council had to jump right into that. We said, oh, we're going to have this great big long break after homecoming. Everyone's going to relax, and we started this right after homecoming. I think it's just because we just got this big folder in the mail, and everyone's like, hey, this looks like fun, this looks interesting. And we went to a luncheon, and then we went to a week before it started, Sarah and I and 2 other officers. We went to a kickoff party the night before a Wednesday night, and just...
Okay, so it was just an interest that you guys had for your organization.
Yeah.
Okay. What was done here at the high school?
Well, every week we have what's called a cram day, and we see which homeroom can bring in the most cans, and we usually give them donuts. The student who brings in the most is getting a $100 gift certificate to the mall, and we're having a drawing within the homeroom that brings in the most for a CD player, a car disc man.
Well, the incentive sounds very nice, and I'm sure that's why you're getting a lot of positive response. There's some sort of replications for that. Now, you had mentioned before we got on camera that you're doing things at the junior high, too. What sort of things are you doing there?
We went there, we're offering them a free dance at the high school. We're going to chaperone it, the high school students are, and the student council.
Okay.
It's from 7 to 9 on November 10th because we don't have school that next Friday.
Right.
It's a Thursday. And I think pretty much all they're doing is just bringing in cans. We were going to try and do competitions for them, but it's so hard because they have the divided houses over there. But
right.
I think they're just pretty much just collecting cans.
Okay. So a dance with high school chaperones.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. That sounds like fun. Good. Anything else that you want to add about the Hunger Drive that we didn't touch on?
One thing is that all the food that we're collecting will be distributed in the Geneseo area.
Wonderful.
Yeah, even though it is based on the Quad Cities, the people, it'll still be fed to the people here in Geneseo and surrounding areas.
Has anybody in the community gotten involved, or is this just the majority of the work has been done by you guys and the high school students?
Well, we are going door to door.
Yeah,
November
are you?
6th.
November 6th.
Okay.
That's a Sunday.
At the football game, the last home football game, we had the community bring in food, and we're probably going to do that this Saturday at the playoff game.
Okay, good. So people need to be aware of that too.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any ideas about what you'd like to do next year if this is successful, or?
If it's as successful as it is this year, we'll like to do it again next year and get just as big of a positive response.
Okay, good. And it seems like the community at the high school is kind of getting together and for a good cause. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is Melanie Rice from JCTV.
Hi, I'm Chris Moose, and when I'm in Geneseo, I like to watch JCTV.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Melanie Rice with JCTV, and I'm here in Walmart in front of the Giving Tree with the co-chairman here, Lynn Tierlink and Sandy Andrews. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How many years has this been going on?
This is our third year.
Okay. And it seems to me that it's been fairly successful.
Very successful. Very successful. Very successful. Lots of participation.
Okay. Where did the idea come from?
Well, we had been taking ourselves angels from trees in the Quad Cities for several years, and there was nothing available in Geneseo to help out our local needy children. So I decided during my year as presidency that I would like to start this project, and that's what initiated it, was to help our children.
And all the gifts and such and the names come from this area, correct?
Yes, they do.
Right. We have 6 different agencies that we get names from, and then we have had local art students who made our angels this year. We were lucky to have a lot of help with that. And then we just stock the tree every day, and hopefully people will come out and grab an angel and buy for the needy kids.
How many angels did you provide for the tree?
Well, it usually runs
between 400 and 500 this year. Unfortunately, it grows every year. So,
and each day you have to come and take the presents and refill the tree. So that is a lot of work for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, every night I come and thankfully we've had a trunk load every night. And we come and then we restock the angels, and we get help out here from people at Walmart who help us keep the tree stocked. So.
And you two are with the Junior Women's Club? I don't even think we mentioned that.
Yes,
That's right.
we are.
Geneseo Junior Women's Club, right.
After you get all these gifts, then how do you wrap them? I mean, who wraps them?
Our club helps out a lot. We get donations of paper, tape, bows from Walmart and also local agencies. A lot of people help out wrapping. The church does this year.
Yeah, it's Nate Malachi's youth group has helped several every year.
Right.
And they also provide gift wrap and bows that day. From each of the kids brings a donation. And this year we got a brownie troop and a Girl Scout troop,
right,
who are also helping wrap.
And then once you get them wrapped, you have to give them to the kids. How do you do that?
We return them to the agencies who gave us the names. And see, we don't go by name information. We prefer it to be anonymous. And so we just go by their numbering system, and we return them to the agencies, and then they, in turn, return them to the families. So.
What kind of people take angels? I mean, it's sitting here, and I see a lot of people looking, but is it individuals as well as groups?
Yes, there are. At Walmart here, for an example, the different departments, the people that work within the departments go together and pool their money and take an angel and buy gifts for it. We have Sunday school groups that are buying. We have brownie troops and Girl Scout troops, and even like the juniors, if an angel wouldn't get taken, we would provide for it. And we've seen a lot of group effort taking a name more than just individuals.
Well, and that's the spirit of the season. That's got to be a lot more fun for groups to do things like that. Now, why did you guys pick Walmart to have the tree? There are lots of other places you could do it. How come you pick Walmart?
Who doesn't shop at Walmart? Everybody shops at Walmart.
Needs to be there every once in a while. That's right.
Right. And our names are drawn from the entire Henry County area, and we felt that most everybody in Henry County at one time or another comes through the doors here.
Mm-hmm. And you're probably right. They do. Would there be anything else that you guys want to add, or anyone that you want to thank?
Yeah, just these agencies and groups that have helped us make this project possible with all their different talents, and the people that support this tree. We couldn't do it without all the goodness and kindness and generosity of this community.
And you guys really believe in this project. It's going to keep on going, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I think so.
I can't see it ever ending.
Good. Well, thanks a lot, you guys, for coming here. And that's Melanie Rice from JCTV.
Hello, this is Willis Andel with JCTV, and we're here today at the Quad City Airport. And with me is Kent Johnson, who's an air traffic controller here at the Quad City Tower. Kent, just for an overview, tell us exactly what are the duties of an air traffic controller.
Well, Willis, air traffic controllers are responsible for the separation of aircraft and sequencing into and out of various airports. Here at Moline, we're up in the tower cab right now, and we work in airspace approximately 5-mile radius around the Moline Airport, sequencing and separating airplanes. We also have a radar room a couple floors down. We'll go down and visit that in a little bit. And down there we're responsible from about 5 miles out to about 40-mile radius around the Quad City Airport, and up to 10,000 feet.
Okay, great. I understand coming up to December here, we have kind of a busy time for you getting ready for Santa's flight into town.
Well, that's true. Every year that's kind of a special time for us, and we get to talk to Santa Claus briefly. It's kind of a neat thing for us.
About how far out does Santa first radio in?
Well, he gives us a call about 45 or 50 miles out to let us know he's coming in. And we really only see him when he's going between cities, because when he's in a metropolitan area, he's zipping from one house to the next. He stays real low and he moves real fast. And it's kind of below our radar coverage and below our air traffic, so he's not in the way for us at all. But then when he goes to another city, then we talk to him for a little bit, and he lets us know where he's going, and we can work other aircraft around him if we need to.
Okay, you said he calls in about 40, 50 miles out. By then, would you have him picked up on radar already?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, and I guess right behind here we have a
We do have a radar scope here, and I don't know if you can see him, but we have a demonstration tag right there flashing as Santa Claus. Well, actually, when we go downstairs in the radar room, we'll bring up a tape from last Christmas time, and we'll actually be able to see Santa.
Okay, great. Now, is Santa pretty high-tech these days as far as like having his own ID signal or something to let you know
That's
who he
right.
is?
That's what we're demonstrating right here. His call sign of Santa actually appears on the radar scope.
Okay, great. Well, I guess why don't we go down below and see a tape from last year?
All right.
Doug, this point out up here, is that just for display? Or?
Well, we're down in the radar room now, Willis, and I'll punch a couple buttons up here in just in a second, and we'll get a tape, computer tape from last year, Christmas time, and we should be able to see Santa's sleigh as he's traveling en route. Let me punch some buttons and see what we can get here.
Oh, there I see him.
Okay, if you look closely, you can see him. He's right here. He's just northeast of Geneseo a little bit, and he's at 24,000 feet. And right now he's traveling about 330 knots, or approximately 375 miles an hour or so.
Now, those numbers come up on each radar as far as each object on the radar shows the
Right.
knots.
Each aircraft has a piece of equipment called a transponder, and that gives us the altitude. And the computerized radar gives us the ground speed, computes the time, rate, distance problem.
So Santa's keeping up with the times then, at least.
Oh yeah, Santa's got all the latest technology. He knows where the weather is, knows where the other airplanes are. He tells us ahead of time, just like I said up at the tower, 45, 50 miles out, he lets us know he's coming in if we have to work anybody else around him.
Hi, I'm Renee Moore for JCTV, and I'm here at Santa's workshop. And if we can interrupt Santa Claus for a little bit, we'll do a little bit of an interview with him. Santa, could we talk?
Oh, hello, Renee.
Hello, Santa. Wondered if we could talk with you for a moment or two.
Certainly.
Great. We were wondering, as far as the toys here that you've got so many of on your workbench here, do you do all of those yourself that you deliver at Christmas time to the children, or do you order them in? How do you take care of all those toys?
The elves and I are busy all year planning and designing and building all these toys.
Boy, it sure looks like you've got quite a variety here, too, for about every boy and girl there imaginable.
We try to have something for everyone.
Great. Another question, Santa, when you bring these toys around to the children and you fly them, with your reindeer, those reindeer seem to be pretty talented. Do you do the training yourself, or what do you do to get the reindeer ready for that busy Christmas Eve night?
Well, we start working real hard in September, about the same time the kids go to school. We do a lot of training flights right up until Christmas Eve.
Great. Now on Christmas, when you're out and about and delivering these toys and in everyone's home, do you stop and talk with anyone? Do you visit at all?
We don't visit with the children at all because we're so busy rushing house to house. We deliver the toys, drink our milk, and eat our cookies, and off to the next house. The only person I do talk to is the air traffic controllers, so that I keep clear of all the airplanes that are up in the sky.
Yeah, we got to remember that safety factor there for everyone involved, don't we, Santa?
That's right.
When you're at the houses, is there any special treat you especially like to find on your plate that we leave for you?
Oatmeal raisin cookies, they're my favorite.
Great. Well, Santa, we got to get going. I know you're so busy here trying to get ready with Christmas just around the corner. Do you have any advice for the ones watching tonight?
There's still time to be good right up until Christmas. And I think everybody can be good all the time.
Great. Well, with Santa Claus, I'm Renee Moore for JCTV. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We take you along on a Christmas tradition, cutting down of the Christmas tree. Our own Clint Turf Tips Rice and his wife Melanie take you along as they pick out their Christmas tree at Vermeulen Christmas Tree Farm.
These all here are a little small, don't you think, honey?
Yes, too
I don't
small.
want to buy any of these. I must have cut one of these babies off now.
Have we already been down there?
Wow. Not trees.
Where's Coach Jess?
Did you say I saw a better one?
Clint had picked out 3 so far.
Go back and stand next to that big one back there.
See what it looks like.
Okay, Clint, we've been following you guys around now for about 3.5 hours, I think, looking for the tree. What makes this one the one?
Well, it's real hard to choose a tree out here. I'm real picky, and of course my wife, she'd take any one of these. So I found this one here. It's probably about a 6.5 to 7 foot Scotch pine. In this tree forest we're at here, we got 2 to 3 different varieties of trees. We got white pine, Scotch pine, and there's even some red pine in here.
What's the difference between all the trees?
Well, a white pine is a much softer needle versus a Scotch. These Scotch pines are great, excellent for your heavy ornaments whatsoever. But if you want to get real fancy and formal, there are some Christmas tree farms that have Douglas fir, Fraser firs, which are more of a real decorative tree. They're even more perfect than for, say, something like this. Now these trees are groomed to get like this. They just were to grow naturally. They wouldn't quite look as to form. But I looked inside. It's got a nice straight trunk, so it'll go real good on the stand and should make a nice Christmas tree.
All right, great. What kind of saw you got there to cut that down with?
I got the old bow saw here. Should cut her down in no time.
Now, did you sharpen that at home before you left?
No, I didn't. And also I wanted to add this year about Christmas trees is this should be a good year for trees indoors. And the reason I'm saying that is because last year we had such a wet summer, and it seemed these pine trees got so used to getting so much water during the year. When they got indoors, they got in the tree stand, you were giving them the water, it just wasn't quite enough. So this year there's a little bit drier year. They should do a little bit better in the house, last a little bit longer. So
as soon as somebody sees this, it's early enough they can go out and cut the tree down and feel safe that it'll last through the season.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, let's cut this one down, Clint.
All right, sounds great. There she is, ready to go home and put up in my front room. Come on, Ollie. Thank you. Thank you, fellas.
Yep.
You're welcome. Please have a good day.
You
too. Have a nice
Merry
Christmas.
Thanks, you too.